whole thing. And we got to defend our kickoff title, and that's what we want to do. We want to, we want to win everything and be that team that's very
Welcome to Free Advice Guide.
It proves to the fans that we're the team to cheer for.
Yeah, so expectations pretty high here for G2. But going into this game again, just to think about here, what's at stake? Sentinels has a great start with this pistol on the Icebox. That second map has only been tested once by G2, coming out with this non-duelist comp. But Split in itself for G2, they've never played it in Split 1 in 2025. They played it once only during the kickoff, but it wasn't because G2's trying to avoid playing this map. They actually float it a lot throughout the season, and it's just other teams that's banning it against them. So going into this matchup now, it's been a while since kickoff that these two teams played against each other on this map. Now it's G2 that has the upper hand, at least in terms of what's new. What can we bring out here against Sentinel, who loves to play this map on Split?
We'll have to find out after we get out of this tech pause. And I think the one thing we see here is one thing we definitely want to talk about.
The G2 Classic.
The way that these teams will use Stingers on a low buy. Two of the best in VCT Americas here. We remember Trent's play from just the other day on Pearl, as well as what they're going to be able to do here. So it's going to be a treat to see what the Stingers will do, and I think this is going to make the game very fast on the low buy rounds. I don't think they're going to give each other too much space. We'll give them a little bit more space as we bounce back out for a tech pause real quick. Apologies for the delay on this, and we will get back as quick as possible into the game. But it's something that's very much so switched the rounds. We saw Sentinels as well in their 1v1s, their 1v2s, even 2v4s from their previous series being able to steal rounds they should not get. So we may have to see the G2 Stingers or vice versa from Sentinels even more than usual.
And a lot of that was on the back of Zekin and Zelsis when they were getting these clutch moments against C9 the other day. And for the side of Zelsis, he's been the vibe merchant. You saw him walk off the stage, or walking on the stage with Kaplan, just laughing along. A little bit late behind. He was supposed to be the coach in the back, but it's still Zelsis that moved forward. But at the same time, that vibe, the vibe merchant was definitely present throughout these moments. I think he won like 2 1v1s on Pearl and a 1v2, especially in that 2 versus 4 with Zekin when he flanked from the back. So you kind of need somebody like Zelsis, who's been finding his groove as a Sentinel role, as a flex now going into Split, playing as this Viper.
Yeah.
But definitely somebody to look out for. And now you're looking from top to bottom in this roster. It's definitely a team that actually puts a lot of power into the server for Sentinels.
Zekin, I kind of wrote in my notes yesterday, this guy had so many ults you thought he was cheating. It was like 3 per half, 3 or 4 per half, and you might even see it here again, already starting out 2-1. As we get this sorted out, let's do some voting with the crowd. Who are you picking? Where's it going? It's going to be mirrored, so it might be weird at first, but it is Sentinels first. What do we got? That's, yeah, okay. Obviously, obviously G2. Okay.
You're saying that it's mirrored. People today seem to be knowing the groove to
yeah, 2-1.
To point in the right direction in the very beginning.
Oh, see?
Okay, maybe
you
not.
Cursed
maybe
him.
not.
You
Maybe
cursed
not.
him.
Maybe not. I'm cursing this as much as I'm cursing the tech pawns, am I?
G2. So it's like 3-2 now? 3-2 G2? Oh, yeah, there's a Zekin. Look at that. And Zekin's getting the votes here with the signs in hand. Also been a lot more vocal, it seems, this year.
Yeah.
After the rounds, not getting up, but being way more vocal, propping the team up, containing those emotions at a high level, and just keeping the vibe up with the team as much as Elsis, really.
Actually, when you talk about emotions as well, you see G2 when they're walking out here on the stage, they're quite stoic. And a lot of their matches going into this one here, knowing that they're the best team, but also I think there's a lot of those emotions that's just buried down, just to not let that take the best of their emotions going into the game. Because remember, they almost had a chance to win Bangkok, going all the way to the grand finals against T1.
Yeah.
They had the lead over 2 maps, where they unfortunately lost those in overtime against T1, where they had the lead. They had game point, match point, series point, championship point going into Bangkok, and let that slip. So,
and you know what things like that mean? We hear Jogamo talk about the effect it had for them on Pearl, and how they had to get over that speed bump on Pearl, where it felt good again if they could get themselves to that map and play it through.
Well, let's get into this map then.
Let's get right into Split, though, as G2 Esports are getting one of their first plays here out of the stage.
Deadly spot from Bang at the top there of the billboard. And G2 going with the Stinger buy. You just mentioned it before, but G2 quite often successful with the Stinger buy and now attempting to rush towards his B site.
That TP's back to A. Jogamo in the back of the site, but Bang is very much so ready. Gonna get swarmed and he wants to go for more. Thinking he may have the positioning. Very fast move from Sentinels here to reposition and get set up for the protocol and retake.
They're staying as a group, closing the gap. Could be very deadly against the retake of Sentinels, who only has a judge on Zelsis too as a weak weapon.
The W key has been a huge advantage for G2 on this one. They just pushed right into the site, running over anything that was in front of them. This is where the Stingers may fall flat, though, to the Bulldog on the other side of the swing of Sentinels coming through as a team. And it's going to be a find, and it's going to be a kill for Zelsis. They're able to get that one down on the default plant spot, and the defuse coming through as well. Zekin gets even more points on the board, and he is just 2 away from Dimensional Drift going into the bonus round.
And as we just mentioned, Zelsis with a judge was able to pick up a Stinger here to open up the first kill on the retake from Sentinels, who flooded back.
Hi and bye.
Hi and bye. Really see
you later, guys.
Stinger buys. They also wanted to stay
Are
as
you
a group.
shutting the door?
Yeah.
All right.
Sentinels
We'll
takes
see
the
how this
upper hand,
goes.
and you just talked about it. Zekin being 2 away from the Dimensional Drift. Remember his game against Cloud9 the other day? He was having almost like 4 or 5 blade storms within the half.
Yeah.
He's been on fire so far. Doesn't have to be as prolific as he was in the game versus Cloud9.
Hey, what's up, Kelford?
Team's looking pretty good here for
This is a
Sentinels.
little, today
Defensive
went a
round
little
G2.
bit
They
unexpectedly,
have
so I'm
Stinger
on
by
later.
Fallon,
I
and for the
apologize.
rest, finally, we calm things down in terms
I
of
don't know if
body
you saw
moving
my
action.
wife there.
Much healthier
Actually,
buy in round number 4.
let's see if I can.
The judge towards mid. The Vanity art scene cosplay now coming into effect. Everybody realizes how strong it is in this position.
Are you able to hear me, by
Nice
the way?
displacement, so G2 can still toy with this area. And
But
try to
my
get a little
my
bit
daughter fell asleep on me. She didn't nap, so this is like a super late either nap or
Saw
very
it
early
coming.
bedtime.
It was just a matter of time there for Zelsis to be able to get at least one. The timing's going to be good, but the distance a bit too much for the judge to follow up, and that's going to be John Cutie on the other side for the pincer move. Now 4v2. It's going to be tough for G2 to even get into the site. Not going to
Wait,
happen.
why does?
They rack up a bonus round there, and Sentinels continue.
Wait,
Small
did
scales
you
from G2
did you
trying to
stream
take
until 5 a.m.?
control of the top middle. I think due to that type of buy that they had on the Stinger, they didn't have too much utility to allow the
But,
Flash to move up here towards.
Yeah, to give you some
Mail.
background,
So Nug just swings in with
when
the
we
Stinger,
met,
and that's
or you know, last year with
not something, easy to fight against when you have a
40-year-old
judge here
bot,
in Zelsis. And
I
three
was
unanswered
just like,
rounds, but
I
finally
hadn't
things
started
calmed down.
doing
G2's
what
back into
I'm doing
the
now. So
advantage
I'm actually a
in terms
financial
of
advisor,
weapons in this round.
but I'm free.
Playing it very slow
So
still.
I'm just trying to help
This
people
wall
with
set
their
up on the east
finances.
side for a slow lurk on the side of Leaf, where G2 gives a lot of responsibility onto Leaf in these moments where he's trying to find a timing on these lurks.
So sorry for the
So
quiet
things off with
tone.
early util to
This is
set
not the norm.
presence of towards middle here for G2. Everybody's grouping up once again, just to power drive towards this A site. Sentinels, they're ready for it. Got 3 players out here.
So close. This is going to be tough. I don't know if they can both get out of this. No, they cannot.
So I really hope
G2
to.
pressing in so
This is going to sound
fast,
so
and Sentinels
cheesy,
in
but
just that awkward window.
change the world.
Timing.
I really do. I really want to change the
G2's
world
gonna
and
be trying to do this the entire time. They play
give
a little
free
bit
advice
slower.
to
They find where
anybody
they
who
can
needs
get
it or
through
wants
the
it, you
armor
know?
of their opponent, and then it just looks so easy once they get
I
the
don't
spike
think
down.
that's gonna work.
Still good util for Sentinels though to move back into the site. Bulldogs being
I gotta
picked
say,
up here.
even though this
Salvo's
is a
been
little
very
bit
nice on
awkward,
flooding
and this
towards
is
the
a little
elbow.
bit weird, this might be one of my favorite streams of all time. I can't believe she fell asleep on me.
Nobody's engaged enough for him to want to take it.
Hey, have fun, Kel. I appreciate you coming through.
up
I
here.
told my wife about your stream
Trying to
this
find
morning.
exits, though. Zelsis only has his
Yep.
Bulldogs,
She was looking
so
forward to seeing it
he's
too. And
gonna
I don't know
have
if you
to
saw her,
move
but
forward.
she
John Hughes
waved
gonna fall
and
back
said
to
bye
save.
before she left. But oh,
Double peek. He's just waiting. He doesn't want to give it away now. Sees 2 on the other side. Jonah will take that. Jogamo just vibing there. Cat jamming on the screen. And that is going to be a 4th round here for G2.
Still a great start. Finally, that they have their money right. They have a bonus round for the side of G2. But the good thing about this, though, despite G2 being able to open up this A site, is the correct reads that Sentinels currently have here on the defense. Something that's a masterclass calling that was even
so
mentioned here in
she
the post-game
will
against
be
Cloud9.
2
Something that John
in
Hughes has done
July.
very well in terms of understanding the tendencies of their
And normally I
opponents.
wouldn't have her on
So
at
when they
all.
have better
Like we don't
weaponry,
show our
you're gonna
kids'
judge
faces
back in
and
hands
stuff
of
on
Zelsis
social
maybe in the
media.
later rounds.
Like this is the most
But
anyone
then
has ever
for
seen.
G2,
But
who are
since nobody can like
kinda
see her
just
face or anything,
spitballing into a
it feels
look
okay.
in the mid round without getting too much information. And speaking of information, you start with the dimensional drift. A flash to come across.
Oh my gosh. Just straight to the back line. They're expecting it somewhat, but you know Zekin's going to try to do something crazy here. Leaf goes down, but so does Zekin. I'd say this is obviously leaving Sen in the 2-2 across the map, and if they don't lose anybody else, are looking pretty good here. G2 patiently waiting to get in. One off of quite a few ultimates could easily solidify this round for them.
Okay.
That's why they wanted to stay back towards respawn. What type of
That's
movement they're gonna do
that's
here
kind of
on
that's the
this
stream I was
defense.
telling you about.
Hey,
And
what's
react
up?
to it.
All right.
So far, reacting
So
correctly, moving
I
inside
don't,
this
I don't know
side.
if I put
It's
this in your
open for now.
chat, Kel, but
It's been stalled a bit
yeah,
by some
I think I did.
salvos
But
out from
she's the one who
Sentinel's side.
encouraged me
And
to
finally,
stream.
Tony Blaze going in for the flank.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. So our fourth
Get that
baby's due in
down,
July,
G2
but
becomes so
my
much stronger
my
in
wife
this
is the
position.
reason
You already see
I
Trent
stream.
starting to
She
back
gave
up
me
Armageddon.
the
Could come in just
I
a
don't
few
know,
of these kills
confidence
this
or
time.
whatever
Salvos
to
first.
feel like I could do it. Uh-oh.
Retaliation
Going
now.
well.
They try to stop the entry back into the site. Sentinel still thinking of a which way to get in, and they cannot cover each other on these shots. The spams come through. And again, G2 get that post plant locked down.
She play Valorant?
That's
You play
always been the
Valorant?
game plan
No,
for G2.
we met through
knowing
4-year-old
that, you know,
bot.
We mentioned Trent just playing
Hey,
tail.
dude, remember that dude? He would go live and he'd be like, "Hey, like network," and like you'd get a lot of followers for his streams. Like you would follow people, they would follow.
Oh, and then they shut him down?
No, he just disappeared one day. We were talking about that last night. Dude just like disappeared overnight, shut everything down. But, all right, we're gonna
Alright,
win.
yeah, sorry.
I love
Hi,
you.
sorry, bye.
I love you, bye.
But if not, they need him to stay alive for the
Love you,
salvos on the post
bye.
plan, and it's been working out so far. Not too many teams have found good answers into stopping the post plant for G2 so far.
All right. Now we get Jogmo. Oh my gosh. Zekin with the Guardian. We saw him doing the same thing just yesterday. Jogmo creating disruption. Looks like G2 slipped past again. They've definitely picked up the pace in the way that they're taking the sites overall. Just the game pace for them has been picked up here. And Sentinels cannot seem to get in front of it just yet.
But with losing Leaf,
Sentinel's not
they're
playing
forced to play
good so
inside the
far.
site.
TP's it? No, does not time it correctly. That's 2 for Trent on the Armageddon, and he is just racking up the points right now. You'll already see John Cutie heading to the side here, and G2 may have lost the first 3, but we saw that Stinger be quite effective. It went down low, costs and the economy, so we're starting to see that go to the wayside here, and G2 will start to come back. Evening on this round,
Yeah.
and they should be able to pressure very hard on next round too. Just
So
go
well
for
in
the
the
throat.
economy for sure, and you see now Zelsis once again looking to position himself for exits.
Player standing.
It's only going to do a little bit of damage, but you
Yeah.
can definitely see what's left for G2. Definitely looking good into the next buy for round
Sentinels
number
have a terrible
7
buy.
over here. And it's good that Trent did get that plan here to allow the Armageddon and G2 to just pressure back into the screens. The Salvos creates the space first. They think that they're gonna fake it out. The clone that was actually thrown in here by Jogimo gave the tell that you're playing so far back for Sentinels after those salvos. And after that shot, that was the cue to pull out the Armageddon.
Oh.
He's able to cap 2 with
Playing for
this.
stats, brother?
Assuming that's a message to Zelsis.
Saving a gun, playing for stats. Either way. Got a timeout coming in here from Sentinels on this as they figure out how to kind of sort out what G2 has been doing. It's not been a consistent site. G2 have shown mid, B, and A now, and it's very explosive once they get to that point. I think obviously when you're facing this, a little bit of extremity control on one side and hopefully the right one, you're not running into that death ball that's coming in, can kind of set you up with a bit more information.
Yeah, I feel from outside looking in for this timeout for Kaplan is just trying to lean back on those fundamentals. Going back to what was a pain point for them in Bangkok where they weren't really trading off each other or even at the beginning of kickoff. And then once we see the turnaround into split 1, you saw that there were, 4-1 going to the group, only losing the crew. But the upwards trajectory that Mimi was talking about here at the desk was just being able to play off each other and just stay as a group. So far, and that's how G2 is going to play when they're entering these sites. So you do need that buddy system to come across, and you're definitely seeing it so far now. Because they do have a lower buy,
Yeah.
they could maybe activate with a Rolling Thunder off reaction of what could happen here at the beginning of this round.
Sentinels go back to that kind of favoring mid with a bit more pressure now. Trying to activate Zekin on this. They leave Zelsis to go into the site. And G2 are once again going to play all around the map, making sure the extremities actually don't have too much vision on them.
The more you wait here, Sentinels could potentially start funneling players into those strong ults. This is why here Zelsis and Narrate also playing at different extremities. This could be a late pit to pivot players towards the middle. And then it's on to the flood here from Rolling Thunder. That could be a game plan. But now that you've already used a drone at the very beginning for Sentinels, they're not able to get too much information in the very beginning. So they have to be a little bit more reactive to G2.
Seem oddly spread out here. Unless we're going to get some activation out of Leaf, some noise. It's just going to be super late for him. So they're actually going to do 4 takes towards B. They feel like they've sorted out the defensive Sentinels enough by waiting down a minute and about 20 seconds here. What will they have to go for? They pressure cook the clock down to 30 now, and Jonah's going to get that plant in sight and feeling good about it here.
Oh no! The Salvos drop Zelsis, and that's the pit down. The idea was him to just stay alive so the rest could rotate over and use the Rolling Thunder, but now
they're just ready. They're already reading this play. They saw it before Sentinels even wanted to do it, and Zekin got shot in the face through the wall there before going down. So he's limping around for the rest of the round here.
That's too good there for G2. Just a little bit of a unluckiness there out for Zelsis, but towards the end, what happened for G2 in the pulse line was beautiful. Always leveraging Jonah P to able to assist Jongimo to get openings. Beautiful fault line towards the back. That doesn't allow here Sentinels to really capitalize on using that Rolling Thunder for the retake. Because that pit that was laid down by Zelsis was so nice. You saw that it covered really all of the map.
Yeah.
Outside of the Salvos potentially to play the post plant for G2, there's not too much that G2 has to play within the pit.
Jeez. It just goes to show Trent is thinking so well with where to use these salvos, what the displacement along with the other information is going to be, and Kaplan watches his timeout fizzle away.
Yeah, you saw how that split across the Paranoia. Again, to switch back onto an Omen. So a fault line on one side, Paranoia on the other, and you have Joggenway between to get an opening. Such good coordination coming out from G2. And now put Sentinel, thankfully, silver lining is that you did have a half buy on that previous round. Now you have a full rifle round, and you could still have an outcome with the Rolling Thunder available, but G2 wants to press it forward. Split into the B site.
Going into the aftershock, they're just playing ahead of their own game here. I love it. Trying to catch the opponent off guard. Sentinels react really nice. They still have an anchor on the site, but do they know about Jogamo? Do they know about Jogamo? Rolling Thunder comes out, but it's already been routed on the back side of the site. This leaves John in such a tough spot now. Pincer down, and the rest of Sentinels picked again, just deja vu. 2 outside the site. Can't do anything to get back in.
It's such a big pick. Jogamo getting that one onto Narrate, and not only that, it didn't actually get the hit onto Leaf, who's playing selfless. What they're doing there for G2 is just reset those that are towards the B side that didn't get affected by the Rolling Thunder, just waits it out. They leverage Leaf, who just drops down and plays bait so they could double swing and trade off if Leaf falls. And he didn't even need to die. G2 looking very good here in Sentinels. You just mentioned it, a timeout that came out from Kaplan. No success coming out of the double ult. No success coming out from a Rolling Thunder to stall the hit from G2, because they're still leaving gaps on the reaction here that G2 is currently instilling on their attack side, and that's a change of pace. How many times so far in this first half that it's been very slow for G2 trying to scout around the map and then move as a group, but this time around, they quickly activate on top of B-Habit, and it seems like Sentinels weren't ready for that.
It's honestly not something you expect from G2. You expect to get a little bit longer of a series altogether because the rounds will go longer. The way they want to figure out their opponent, how they sort things back and forth. But you're right. The change of pace here is definitely throwing Sentinels for a loop as G2 continue to pressure these objectives instantly. Back towards A here, and it's everyone there, right? They're looking for a fault line hit if they need it, and they're looking to get right into the site if possible.
There's an Armageddon at least for John Cutie.
Yeah.
So the amount of times that they've been buying half armor, half shields, regen shields, they want to fight this right away.
Flying through. Narrate opens up big though. Quickly traded back by Valen, the smoker, the controller, the IGL.
Why did he do that?
Right at the front of the line to start this one is Seconds trying to get into a spot that can win this round back. It's It's already being waited on by Leaf, though. Almost 3, they get on different levels, and the drone also makes it indecisive for where to put the shot.
And they're trying to flip, so the IGL pushes down towards the screens, and he's trying to find an opening. Beck's waiting for him.
Hops right into sight. Zekin's gonna give everybody a little UAV situation. 2 from screens, they start to hop back in.
Nice stun.
The swings aren't happening together though, almost. These 1v1s being created. Trent from the outside, ready to hit that aggression.
Dude, they just
from
took 2
screens, and it's
1v1s.
just Sentinels falling like flies on this one. One left, bang, trying to do what he can. Too much surrounding him though.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, John Cutie.
It's too late.
Jonah P.
Trent.
John and Jonah. The shots come through and Trent's gonna be able to do it. Oh my gosh. John Cutie goes down 6-2, or 6-3 rather, for G2.
Util's just too good for G2. Even if Leaf, again, on those moments usually is good on like at least 1 or 2, but he gets the perfect information that there's 3 players from Settle swinging down towards that ramp, and look how Valiant activates to push back towards the spawn. He nullified the dimensional drift out from Zekin.
Good moves,
because
bro.
when Zekin found all that information, he actually flashed back towards that spawn so that Settles cannot come back to fight. They had good rates to play so passively in the very beginning, but going into the hit in itself, the util coming out from Trent and from Valiant was so nice to stop that.
That timeout button is getting pushed fast over there on the Sentinel side. I mean, Kaplan just has to get in their ear to tell them what is happening, what's going on, where can they reset, or maybe even say you have the right idea, stop second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It could be numerous things right now, but Sentinels is falling behind too much with 6 straight rounds in favor of G2 now.
I was just mentioned before that Sentinels like to get muddy. They love to fight as a group, and they don't mind to fight in the chaos. But the thing is, when they actually used that Armageddon on that previous round, Valiant that snuck through towards the entrance of the A site actually threw a smoke up towards the A ramp. But that actually just stopped Sentinels, and they didn't want to challenge through that because they were just afraid of the unknown of what was behind the smoke. But the Armageddon was already creating that space for them. They potentially could have moved down and find some good information and continue their trade out. But that little space that was given to the G2, you just saw what happened towards the end. A 3 versus 4, 3 versus 5 that came out in their favor. And Sentinels, yeah, you mentioned that red alert now coming out from Kaplan is, let's just try to salvage these last 3 rounds if we can. But he has nothing else to work with for the map.
Oh. A little bit of a learning round too here for G2 as they use Dimensional Drift. They see if Sentinels off that timeout would it retaliate on an A play like that. I like this. I like this. Sentinels though have their own strategy ready for it. Zelsis, oh, he is just not having fun with the salvos today. Trent has his number. Flown in, or drone in, Narrate takes down Jog. That's actually a huge one to be getting right now if Sentinels can just slow this down and take a breath.
But Plat now has Rolling Thunder available here for Jonah P.
Oh, fault line should just go right past Valen. They could work off this together. Zekin waiting very far out. There's one last one they could hopefully get in. Oh, they smoke off actually where Zekin's going. Kind of pulling the attention of G2 away from that for a moment. The kills now towards sight, towards elbow. It's going to be John Cutie coming in for the kills. And they're not even going to need the other person on the flank there. Sentinels straighten one out.
Let's go.
And they stop the bleeding.
You saw that discipline coming out there from G2 as well. As soon as they lost Trent in the very beginning towards the A main, you saw Jonah P switch away from the Rolling Thunder back into a fault line, understanding that it's potentially a lost cause. They can try to go for a double swing. If it turns out into a victory on their side, they could use that towards the end. But
Let's go.
Nice boys, let's go.
Definitely see here that Sentinels are still ironed out here towards this retakes.
A big timeout there for Kaplan to get into the ear of the team. Can they continue this momentum? They have a lot of economy to work through on the side of G2 Esports before they'll feel comfortable. And they only have a few more rounds, so they should just see guns here for these last 2. They got to give it everything. Back to this solo Zelsis mid for now.
Rolling Thunder and Pit are huge now for G2. So Sentinel's not fully out of this yet.
This B Heaven strat is so fast for G2. They teleport right in the mailroom twice with Omen and Yoru. It's so hard to not get overrun by something like that. But now having controls a little bit faster for Sentinel side, that's the change on this round. They didn't have this before. Oh, the timing! And it's actually going to be just low on Jogamo's shot. Zekin retaliates beautifully with that shot flicked downward as the site trades come in strong. They do find Zekin towards the top as Valen tries to reorganize where he can be and what will be the safest in this 2v2 or 2v3.
Big flank from Zelsis.
Just looked away, the timing's there! Chooses the wrong target and Valen hits his.
Now they can take their time though for G2. Valen they're from the shadows. So if it has to come down to these trades where it might not work out for them, he could always TP away with the spike on his back.
30 seconds left.
They're going to have to keep Sentinels guessing and force them to peek out.
This smoke is crazy.
Didn't see him. Just snuck through. But with that, though, if the spike comes for a plant, John Cutie has his salvo, so they want to dodge off that first.
All right, they're just
faked.
Yeah, double fake. Just getting everything they can out.
10 seconds left.
Plant for Trent so he can get another point towards Armageddon, and they get to post-plant position here.
And the TP was just to get John Cute away, so he can't really get in range for the salvos to delay the plant on B.
One shot from Trent. They saw it. They know where Bang is. Easy play here. Trent backs up as far as possible, making it almost... Yeah, Armageddon comes through. You're not even going to get a chance to get onto this spike yet. Next tick gets the salvos, and you still have Valen just around the outside playing a little game of cat and mouse here with Bang. The final shots come through from the IGL, and they pick up another round.
And that's always what's so annoying when you have Trent alive with Armageddon and salvos. Remember, he had these type of clutches on Icebox on a 3 versus 1 as well.
Yeah.
When he's alive on these post plans, I mean, they mentioned at the desk, one of the best Teo that we have here in the Americas, maybe even the world. Just because he's so self-sufficient, knows the right timings, knows the game sense to stay alive here in these post-plan scenarios when he needs to sneak back out
Nice
of
boys.
the outside of the site.
How many Tejo games in a row that he has? Because it's been a lot. That's all he plays. You got to be afraid. This guy's Tejo. I mean, they even play that on Icebox too. And they have Trent for Sova. Wait, these shots coming out immediately. The speed on A again. Sentinels forego attacking this for a few rounds and then try to deliver the punch once again here up a member after the fight.
But under Paul, Sentinels doesn't seem to have had the best conversions and man advantages. G2 walking in for the contact, spotted by Narrate.
Smart play by Narrate, beautiful flash, beautiful teamwork. Bit of an extended high-low there, but they do lose each other as G2 figures out the play.
2v2, drone still available. That's going to spot John Cutie towards the screen, so they isolated one. Zelsis still has a window to surprise one, and now they just got both spotted.
Player standing.
Up to Trent. Zelsis, we talked about winning so many clutches previously before. Can Trent, however, have the firepower for 2 of these members? Oh my God! The Red Bull clutch from Trent in the 1-2! They have no more timeouts. You can't do that.
Oh, that has to sting. Just the patience that he has. You just mentioned it. Trent, can he clutch the 1 versus 2? Didn't have util to work with and just waited to see where the footsteps were going to be. And that's a collat.
Oh, it's a what? It's a boop. You see that through shot too? Yeah. They'll have to call that timeout next half. Even getting the coach going, like we said before, when you're surprising your team like that, you know you're doing it right. 8-4 here. Sentinel started to punch back a bit, but is it enough? We'll find out when we come back.
It's for you. Do you like it? Come on, Charlie. Use your new door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's go. Silly dog. I'm gonna trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
How tiny is that person that they fit on that chair like that? This feels like false advertisement.
G2 lead at the half, 8-4. After a 6-round run there in the first half, they started to run away with it. Sentinels only able to battle back a bit, but we still have a competitive scoreline going into the second half. Sen's attack could easily start to flip this map on its head.
When it was very one-sided for Sentinels against G2 before, though, it was Sentinels dominating on the defensive side. Now you definitely saw that there was a little bit of struggles coming across here once G2 started to get the money right. This time around, Sentinels has an opportunity to turn it back to their side. Four of them grouped together towards this B main. Really, the only responsibility is Valen trying to go for the little one-way smoke to see if he could spot some feet.
Oh, he knows, but he doesn't have the aim anymore. Not just aesthetic on that one as Zekin comes in with one of the kills. It looks like G2 is actually trying to swarm the site, get in there to help Leaf, but do they need to help Leaf that much? He gets sorted out, and they will get the rest of the members there of Sentinels. Oh my God, Leaf.
How does Leaf still survive in that moment? So many players are coming across him, and he still stays alive. I think it was Narrate that was right in front of him towards that spawn and trying to get him with the classic and just couldn't. Where the opener was perfect for Zekin. They went for the TV, the flash. Yes, he was read by Valen, but he got hit by the fall line. He got fully blinded. A right click couldn't hit. And somehow Leaf solo inside the site delays long enough that even if he falls, the rest of G2 is already on the rotate. A great start for G2 now, winning this second pistol. And we're tying 1-1, at least in pistols. But G2 has the lead by 5 in his first map.
And they love to have Leaf in situations like that. I think they give him the opportunity to play up, be a little aggressive, draw the use a lot of the opponent, and he's still
we are
staying
back.
alive.
Oops,
like
left my
how? You just ask questions when you're watching it. A little aggression from Zekin here as he tries to push back Jonah P.
All they want is a plat now for Sentinels. All of them grouped in together, and they have a chance. Spike's been given away here for Zekin to get the plat, to get closer to the Dimensional Drift, and we'll put that little check mark there for a dub.
A long-range 2x scope on that Jogamo. Just stinger across a side.
All right,
Like
had to be a little quiet there. Had to be a little quiet there.
The deadly push coming through, and then Narrate's going to be able to answer with the classic, but it is not enough. G2 swarm, G2
This is not looking good so far. Gotta say.
Not too bad there coming
Gotta
out.
say. All right, I gotta get that sleepy tone out of my voice there.
That previous round, you saw that we just mentioned before. They're so good at buying in second rounds with stingers, but the reason why you go for these buys, or what helps you in these buys, is you actually get the plant in the fifth round, which unfortunately Sentinels did not. But even if they're still trailing behind at this point, 9-4, they still went for a full classic round, so it seems that they still have faith towards what they could do here once they have their money right here on the attack.
So the other buy is going to be Vandals, Phantoms. They do get the rifles in for Sentinels here. This bonus round is very, very big to keep G2's pressure at bay. Already the 10-4 is enough to deal with. And just a push towards main. So a little bit of an extremity hold here. Still giving G2 quite a bit of space to start the round as they have an eye on just about every angle.
And the end of the game for Sentinel so far is just to wait out, find that minute mark where the players could be.
Hello.
Not really answering to that.
Dude, the Sentinels are off, man.
The salvos are just waiting here to just stop G2 or stop Sentinels on the hit.
Jeez. Even that activation you saw coming from Narrate, that was from mid, that fault line we just watched Jogamo jump out of. So they're trying to activate from across the map. Leaf ready to deliver the mail, and he gets one down. That's going to be too far for the Bucky, but the Stinger comes out strong. Another headshot coming through.
Dude.
We see Jonah P go down as Zekin finally answers the situation. They have to limp into the site now. Actually, not too bad. Zekin's still pretty healthy off that engage. Oh, heck of a swing there for G2 trying to combo that. It's up to Valen now. Almost won. The second, he's got the distance. Classic. Oh, he's indecisive.
Oh my goodness, man.
Not flying through the air to get a right click win. A triple kill on that round and another one for Sentinels.
Split second there for Valen.
Yikes.
To potentially put the nail in the coffin onto Sentinels on the first map. But thankfully, Zekin once again is there to save it for Sentinels. But it looked so good here for G2 and how they played their bonus round. You saw that there wasn't an idea to do the trap play around these salvos and the fault line. You're just trying to find information, trying to suppress some players, and also just trying to stop and trade utility between both teams. And what to do after? Hold it to tight quarters because you have Buckies, you have Stingers. Just let them run into you and get these picks. And Zekin, thankfully, with that last kill, and the clutch is able to get some information for Sentinels to activate towards this A site behind a Dimensional Drift.
He's in the site. Zekin is definitely spicing up things on the map right now, but G2 has kept him at bay from what his performance was yesterday. That's for sure. See if they can get themselves back into the action here. A really nice site take towards A. Sentinels kind of has to stop giving G2 that respect. We hear a lot of teams say it.
Why would he
faster, more aggressive, and Bang is all over that.
I don't know why he would burn that ult so early. It doesn't make sense.
Site. Tempered engage for now as G2 drops in for a moment. There's so much util to be fighting in the orb. The fight in the smoke, or rather the wall, as Leaf and Valen are just taking down the members trying to enter into the site, bottlenecked as
This
they
is a
try to
GG's,
get
bro.
through here.
No time.
And there it is.
Yeah,
Jogmo
G2 got it.
already on
G2
the
got it.
defuse, and that's going to be round 11 for G2.
It was close. I thought that leap was still too far back before he got in, but as soon as I heard that, we're good. But that said, you've just mentioned so much utility.
Man, this is Sentinels map too. That is rough. That is rough.
Pushed everybody back.
Yeah.
Sentinels knew that the flood was going to come back from heaven and from A main just because of the Armageddon thrown by John Cute in the pulse plant. But high-low verticality advantage coming out for G2.
Off Teo solo.
That's a good question. That is a good question.
Towards the end there for G2. Two more rounds rather to close up the first map. They're gonna make things difficult here in round number 17. Already a thick pit towards middle.
Trying to figure out how to dislodge him.
Exactly. It's so deep too that doesn't allow for you to really get some good control towards the vents. So it looks like Sentinels has no choice but to work towards the extremities. Half buy that you have on their side. I mean, it even comes down to a force buy.
Yeah.
They absolutely have no credits left to work with, and
I think this map is over, boys.
We'll
see. Oh man, this.
Try to get an opening here with this Guardian.
Trying to sell something towards A. They might have gotten that teleport back just in range of Jonah P, though. You see no movement from G2. They're not buying that A distraction just yet. Jogmo hopefully getting the drone work. Drone on drone action. Ships in the night crossing. Now they just sit. Behind the column, the util keeps them protected for now, but Jogmo's trying to let them know where is the in the window to get back into this. Leaf's in sight, so's Valen, so's Jog. They just surface from nowhere and take down Sentinels.
Bruh.
Sentinels tried to go back for their pistol round that allowed here Zekin to get the opener onto Valen, but instead this time around, it's G2 holding the back with Jogmo, with the Dimensional Drift, able to escape all that util and find all of that information from a fault line to stall, the salvos to push them off the spike plant. And then also to just close the gap to get that done on the side of G2.
Dude, it felt like everyone came out of a Dimensional Drift. They just popped out in the sight. That kind of teamwork is insane, and the reason we see G2 with so much consistency behind their plays. Stinger by for what could be the final round here as Sentinels try to keep themselves alive, and Leaf just snuffs Zekin as he sprints up mid.
It makes it annoying trying to play a judge inside mail. Thankfully, those Sentinels have control of B site, but they're fighting with Stingers long range.
Bang playing a bit of a game, but knows it's death at the top of that rope as he bounces back into sight. 5v3, or if you're looking from Sen, the 3v5 as they have.
This is rough.
Signatures are up. More smokes there for Valen as they can create their own angles that they want to be looking at when they re-enter the site. Just waiting on the go button here. You can see Valen discussing what the next moves are. They're very happy to see those Tejo salvos. I think that's going to pretty much activate what they want to do here. Just a 1-2. Where's the third? The punch comes across, but it's not going to be enough just yet. Trent gets another salvo here on split. It's going to be 13-5 in favor of G2. Full control is split pretty much all throughout, and it's going to be a tough series.
Masterclass coming out for G2 for sure. Loud and proud, the IGL Valen standing up here, confident on the run that G2 could bring. And only need one more map to move into qualification to make it into Toronto.
Yeah.
But in the map itself here on split, Man, did they look good here on any type of forefront. From post plans to hits into the retakes that was displayed across. They learned their lesson the last time they played against Sentinels on this map, and they came back for revenge.
The positioning that they had, I think, for the amount of multi-kills we saw coming from multiple members at a time, right? It was just a row of G2 kills coming up. The speed, the pace at which they were able to go fast and slow and then reactivate on certain rounds. Incredible stuff. Sentinels looking to come back strong here as we get into our second map, but we go to a quick break first. Don't go anywhere.
I don't really like committing to things. I'm scared. But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me now?
All right, be right back.
On set with Kristen S. Hair.
What's the vibe today?
I'm thinking something chic. You know, perfectly imperfect.
Ready for you on set?
Now I'm ready. Kristen S. Hair, stylist created.
Now for Jaw. Oh dear. Start running. Don't start running! And G2, this is their round. At least 4 in this game.
Second position on both long angle.
But Zekin's still moving, and Zekin's just mowing them down.
Here, the coach of G2, Josh RT, running away with that classic Sentinel split. Not your map pick. We're going to your map pick of Icebox next. What was your plan for split when that was floated, when that was out there? It is a Sentinels kind of classic sort of thing. What did you expect, and how did you prepare for that?
Honestly, I expected like a tougher game there. Last time they took us away, and we honestly underestimated their split dominance. This time we pulled no punches. We prepared well, and I think the boys executed really well.
Why do you think they underperformed?
I'm not sure. I would have to watch the tape to really see, but I felt like we put the right pressures. Felt like they were playing a little passive. We read their initiatives really well. We knew the situations. Even their early timeouts gave me an opportunity to just correct little micro mistakes, and then we were always one step ahead.
All right, well, best luck on map 2.
And that's what it's all about right there. Oh,
that's dangerous. That's so dangerous,
That's such a bad idea.
That was such a terrible idea.
That's an expensive piece of equipment.
-$10,000.
More than operator Gaston's going to kill you. He's going to kill you.
And they're carting me away. They're carting me away as we speak.
Wait, just got word that came out of your paycheck. All right, everyone. So, we are professionals.
We're talking about the first map?
We are professionals.
That had to do with Canada. It was really topical.
Yo, G2 exec really well. Why don't we show that?
Before they fire me, I want to talk about this round.
Before you get canned.
nice. G2 gets more value out of their Teodrome than I think most other teams do these days. They're almost always, when they're going for these kind of execs, have the TP set up, send in the drone, and they're holding the rest of their initiator util if they don't catch anything off that drone. Then this next layer is always so high quality to go in with the missiles, with the aftershock, and they completely decimate Zelsis here. And this is something G2 is doing on almost every map, on almost every attack round, of picking the perfect moments when they actually need their initiator utility. They're never just sending it because.
Yeah, a lot of other teams, I think, will just go into the motions of it, right? They'll just be ending up using their salvos to try and assist and get the Europlay into the back site and try and let that happen, but they're just reading the moments really well. I mean, Josh RT was saying, even in that interview, they were just one step ahead over and over again with their read overall on that map on Split, and they made it just look like just child's play for them, to be honest. They were just running rings around Sentinels overall, and they said that Sen are going to need to win this one in 2, to be honest. Split dominance in that fashion as well. We're now heading over into Icebox as well as a bit of a preview, but even before we get into that, I mean, dude, it's just... This is going to be more than an uphill struggle, I think, for Sentinels themselves. And G2 often bring the best out of them as a team.
Something I wanted to note real fast, though, was Josh RT's interview. Him saying, like, I expected it to be tougher. I expected a little bit more pushback. But that was not the case, and you could see clearly why. I mean, you had so many moments where G2 just had the reads on them.
Yeah, and even when rounds were going wrong, it felt like they were winning every clutch. Trent in particular was incredible in these late rounds. I think of that 1v2 where they just line up. One bullet gets him with the Vandal. He has been on point. We were already talking about how good his utility is, but he's also showing up in these individual moments in the late round, Bren.
It's the way that they empower him as well. G2 as a team, they will try and set up Jordan up for success occasionally as well, but often Trent is going to be the one taking advantage of the space that the rest of his team is making, and Jorg is making himself as well, and being that second person in to be able to trade out often and being last alive into the clutches as well definitely helps his case. There's that moment you were describing. It's absurd as well, because with a team like G2, they don't just have one quality in space. They've got almost every quality in terms of individual firepower, coordination. You can just tell looking at them that the comms are so clean every single time they're in a situation. Barely ever does this team misplay with the utility.
4.8 KD.
It's unheard of.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Genuinely.
It looked like a cakewalk for Trent this game. He was winning every gunfight. You had no doubt that he was winning.
This is a match that's going to qualify you to Toronto as well, and they're doing it like this. They're doing it like this.
It's scary, honestly, with the way that they played that. I don't know, Mimi, how Sentinels look to respond.
And my misery.
I mean, there has to be a complete.
All right, let's figure out what's happening here.
G2, so need Kaplan to pull something big out for him.
All right, well, guys, let's go ahead and hear what the Sentinels coach Kaplan had to say as we get ready for map 2.
Here, the coach of Sentinels, Kaplan. They ran away with your map pick of Split, the classic Sentinel Split. A bit of an underperformance that we're not used to from Sentinels. What went wrong?
I mean, first of all, I want to give G2 credit. They're a great team, and I think they had a lot of cool strats, and they came out swinging. They played that really well. Obviously, at 13-5, I don't think that explains it. I don't think they're that much better than us. I think we're having a real hard time playing the way we usually play. I think we're a bit the stakes. The opponent is getting to us more than it needs to, and I mean, that's all that matters right now. Just making sure for map 2 we play like ourselves. Whatever happens, happens, but I really hate to not show up for anyone here, so.
Best of luck.
All right, well, there you heard Coach Kaplan there. I mean, of course, if anyone knows his guys, it's him, and he knows when they're playing their best, when they're a little rattled, and he could definitely tell that they were rattled there.
But this is going to be a tough game. G2's only played Icebox once this stage, but they had a dominant win on the map. They played the same comp they did last year with the Harbor Viper, and I want to highlight Jaw on the get-go. He's so good at using his util perfectly, and then once that's gone, he's fighting into backside. He's going so far forward and fully disrupting the opponent's retake. That's something they have to be ready for if Sen want to bounce back.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Cap as well. He's not overselling anything for the second map, honestly. He knows that they haven't showed up here, but genuinely, this is going to be such a struggle for them as well. Even though we haven't seen that much of Icebox from G2, they've really distilled it down to basically just trying to exemplify, I think, why post-plan util is so strong in this map. It's going to be tough for Sentinels. It's going to be tough.
Without a doubt, folks. All right, well, our second map is going to be Icebox. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Just got word. Mimi's fired. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for us here. We'll be back after this quick short break, and Mimi's got to look for a new job. Poor Goose, man. Poor Guillermo.
welcome back to VCT Americas. We are ready for map 2 here in our second series of the day. G2, we heard the desk. It kind of looked like a cakewalk here because Sentinels have to come out swinging.
And I'm scared now because they're going into Icebox. Sentinels, last time they played it, they only played it once so far. They played against Crew. Crew came out with this double controller setup with the Harbor and the Viper, something that Sentinels had a hard time dealing with. But now we're going to this game. Oh my God, okay, wait, hold on. Sentinels comes in with something new here, and they're almost...
the Gecko now.
Exactly, they're almost mirror comping G2 if G2 plays the same composition, which then means here that they're pulling out the Gecko, but instead of playing the Harbor, they're going with an Omen. So you want to add a little bit more verticality going to how you want to exit into these sites. Because again, you're looking at this, both teams are not playing any duelists. For the side of G2, the way that they're playing it, they're scaling quite well thanks to the Harbor. But on the side here of Sentinels, I'm expecting to get a lot of that verticality coming out from Zekin to allow Sentinels to get a little bit more space, a little bit of crosses to allow to open up the sites. And they have a chance to do that now for Sentinels because they start on the attack.
Remember, this does mean a spot in Toronto here. Sentinels trying to keep this series alive. G2 could lock it down right here with the 13 rounds in their pocket. I'm sure Sentinels won't make it as easy on this. We're gonna get
we'll see.
Box. We see teams now bringing out the Geckos. I'm excited. These changes late in the season here. See what teams cook up.
Yeah, pistol round's already underway, and Sentinels are kind of running things just like G2. A lot of pressure towards this B side on the pistol, trying to scout out where the defense could be. But it's a full setup for G2. Leaf has set his turret up towards this B site just to try to get early information. The pressure's coming towards mid and Sen, so they can try to go for this pinch in the back.
Already around yellow. Sentinels moving quite quick, but do they know how many will be around?
Yeah.
The flank splits up. Valen with 2 classic. Easy as they just come around the corner all willy-nilly on the side of Sen. Zalsis is able to push forward. Everybody's getting a little tricky here as they don't know where the full capacity of each
move, dude. Bang, why? Why are you staying there?
And very low health here for G2 to get back into the site.
Hilo is too good at the start for G2. Both players of Sentinels are isolated though.
Just gooped on there, and they have to get now to John Cutie. Takes down 1, turns, almost gets this 180. But it is just going to be a quick classic. Wingman's already on the defuse, and that's going to be enough. A round win for G2. They secure another pistol.
That was such a solid hold for G2 in the very beginning. You mentioned how many players would be flanking towards that back for the set of G2. And it was a split second where the turret was down, but it came back up on time for Zelsis to spot that. And that call just activated Sentinel to try to push back towards the back of the B site. But you have a high-low from the top of the bridge and kitchen towards the back of the site. They weren't ready for it from the side of Sentinels, and G2 were just able to play full man advantage throughout the whole pistol. Now building to a very strong second half. An Outlaw already comes out here for the side of Jonah P, allowing for them to play a little bit more of a 4-1 setup here on this Icebox defense.
It is nice. We don't usually see Jonah with it, but it is perfect for that B-long position. They have kitchen covered. He's going to be right under the tube. Leaf making the stinger sing, and he does it again. A third one. Knows it's going to be Jogamo stealing that away. Possible ace. That's all right, though. High Power taking a breath. They've seen too many lately. Jonah P finishes up that one, and it is going to be 2 here for G2.
And you're just playing lemmings going into the kitchen.
Yeah.
So much util to stop towards that back, though. The Gecko flash towards that top really didn't allow Sentinels to play and trade as a group. And speaking of playing as a team, this time you're giving the Outlaw on the side of Jogimo. For this buy, Sentinels already respects it because of that second round shot. Is that you have Jonah P already getting that first pick. So all buying full shields on the side of Sentinels at the same time puts a dent into their economy. They have to be flawless in this round to try to tie things up. But look at this push from G2.
Most expected on both sides. Bang is so ready in a third one. Trent knows there's going to be more of a fight here. He has to get out safe somehow. That swing, Bang finds a 3rd kill and is going to get a 4th point for the ultimate on this round. Leaf is getting pretty close pretty quick here. Not waiting for the team, he just goes for the swing. That was an abrupt stinger swing for sure. And now we'll just see if they can take down Jog here as he gets the defuse. A nice round for Sentinels.
Yeah, you're trying to do as much damage as possible, pop damage, so that Jog will get 1 shots across the board. That would take down actually 3 of them. There's that first with a headshot.
John Cutie answers back.
Oof.
It was a heady play, trying to tick off the armor there, but another one goes, or I should say the first for this map in Sentinel's favor.
And that was good for Sentinels to stay back towards the spawn for the very beginning. The bonus round, they learned a little bit from Split that G2 likes to play areas where you can close the gap. And when you're playing on a map like Icebox, where a drone could be very good here, the stealth drone from Mateo, where you're trying to close as much as possible, trying to rush into Garage if they actually do hear that drone. When they peek, they get punished. And Sentinels, we mentioned they needed a clean round, and they got it. Full rifle rounds for both teams, though. And you'll see this pressure continue on from both sides. This is something also that Trent has been doing with the salvos at the very beginning. We'll talk that point in a little bit here, because Zekin is looking for control and for some space in front of this A site.
Pushed up so far here, just on the other side of the wall. One smoke pops, doesn't get a headshot off of that wall diagonal. And they just reset, but it's all about Bang right now and how much info he can grab in this position. Inserted so far into kitchen.
So nice.
They're not even thinking about it. Oh, there's the timing. Oh, Leaf turns at just the last moment. You have to be kidding. And now they're forced to push into sight. G2 know they have a lock on where the rest of the members are, basically. And they are going to give them space before the retake. Oh, yep. How many spams? How many shots? This smoke. They try to break the smoke without any utility. And just on the other side, Sentinels waits with open arms. Another one.
All right, let's go. Feels a little better. Feels a little better.
Very nice for Sentinels there. And then you also see why Zekin is playing this Omen for the side of Sentinels and instead of playing a Harbor, smoking out the turret, allowing Bang to move up. And even if he dies, it pulled out the rotate from G2 back towards the A main, towards the screens, so that Sentinels could actually start moving into the A site. And not only that, continue to push towards the screen to keep everybody isolated from G2 on the outside of the site. Fighting through the smoke, the second smoke being thrown by Bang. Or by Zekin, sorry. It was perfect.
Those cleanups. And the hype from Zalsis is there. You can hear it. Sheriff's here for G2 as they go into this round. And I love that point about the Sentinels having the Omen. I mean, the part of the having Harbor here was to have it with the Sova, to be able to move up in layers.
Yeah.
But it just seems like having that Omen allows Sen to keep fighting and get the angles they want overall.
And also, to discuss again this initiator coming out here from Trent and Joggivo, and also from Nary Dark Cutie, why no Sova? The tail salvos are just good enough here to take full control of pipes and in front of orbs so that people can't really run forward. You'll need to find that information first with a recon dart, because you could just brute force your way through with the salvos and fight for trades. And now you see an eco coming out for G2. They tried to go for a peek towards middle. Couldn't do any damage there, and Sentinels, they could just min-max the orbs, min-max some kills, and build up their ults here in the next round.
Pressure towards A does not seem like it'll be used too much since B is taken, but Sentinels are really gaining control of the map here and not giving up that space when they know they have the better weaponry. You can't be shy to G2.
I don't want to get like excited yet, so we're chilling.
Sentinels push even harder when they know they can go for the throat on this round.
Once again, the value of Zekin on this Omen. Trying to create space for the team. You just saw there as he TPs on the top of yellow, it forces the players of G2 to turn around and try to focus on them so the rest of the Sentinels can just scale behind.
High five, Keeper.
And it seems Sentinels still wants to keep doing this conditioning. The salvos will continue up here. The wall comes out on the defensive side though, and Valen scales into the nest. A great spot, because when this calms down, you'll probably see a couple of players of G2 start falling back, and the responsibility of right now for Leaf is...
It's like Sentinels have decided, no, something's up with that. Just go B. Just go B.
What are they going to do? And it's Zekin to teleport across, just like you said, creating that space, helping the team get a forward position, but they have to be wary.
Man,
they have that
Zekin.
wall to go up for Bang just yet. Oh my gosh. Doesn't seem like they have the wall just yet, but they'll arm it.
No, he doesn't even clear out top side to do that? Bro, come on.
Gets himself to safety on that.
And he wants to play an aggressive position here on the top of the site. One pick allows for him to get the lockdown, and you can trade out these ults.
Thrash goes through. Bang is able to start returning the favor. Lockdown almost gets thrown, but it was in such an open position. It's instantly thwarted. And now the 2v3. G2 still have stopped the plant, but now they'll have to look to get the defuse as Zelsis throws it down on the site.
And this should guarantee it for Sentinels. Zelsis has his own lockdown, and if it has to come down to that, they push them back, and then you have a pit from Bang. So the last two players of G2 definitely already falling back. But you saw how you were just so tunnel visioned on the side of Leaf. As soon as he gets the pick, he throws out the lockdown and is trying to plant it, but at the same time, doesn't really pay attention to his surroundings that his teammates are actually going down.
I made a money
so
decision.
A couple of players of Sentinel slipping through the cracks and able to capitalize on that pick. The silver lining is that he still has it going into the next round now for G2.
True, he didn't get the activation, so it just got destroyed. But you're right. It's maybe he was thinking people were snowman, people were over to the right side, able to see across the map. In that situation towards B. And that it goes to show how fast Sentinels are also moving to be in that position where we were just praising Leaf for having the 1v1 effect where you can get yourself into a spot that's draining the enemy's utility. This time he gets taken down before being able to use his. Let's see it all again as they just fly through the thrash. That's dirty.
It's almost two with this comp you can play.
They have 4 guns.
You can definitely see here that they have kind of like double drones into these ults when you have the Thrash available for the side of both teams for G2 and Sentinels. But now this timeout comes through, and I think it's important. So far, you've seen Josh RT do a lot of these early timeouts for the team where he already has a good read into the game. He probably already knows the type of protocols that Sentinels are trying to do right now to execute towards these sites. So do you actually want to start saving your salvos to just land him where Bang could be TPing, or sorry, Zeki could be TPing it across? Or how do you just want to fight back maybe in forward positions here that Sentinels are, they're allowing Sentinels to take, especially on this B side at the very beginning?
It's a nice job. I think usually when
I can share your channel with my community to help you gain more followers.
Haven, it was about
Darian, you still here?
So
Probably not. I did not see this kick message.
G2, able to take out
if
how
you're
they're
real,
playing
let me
and
know.
not allow that protocol post-plant retake they're so good at.
And that's a great point, because so far Sentinels hasn't been needed to use that yet. If it comes down to those moments where Bang could activate a little bit more, yes, they did it when he did the push and pull towards that too, but so far just the brute forcing from Sentinels has been good enough. And that could also be the next thing of conversation, the next point of conversation that Kaplan could instill here with the Sentinels team.
All right, let's see how G2 comes out of this timeout. What they have on their plate. 3 ultimates ready. Oh no, sorry, 2 ultimates, or 1 ultimate, 2 ults ready on their side. Thrash, as well as that lockdown we still have from Leaf. And they're gonna actually be pressured again towards that B site. See if they get the lockdown earlier than later on this. With a push here from the right side too. Jogamo should be able to tell G2 this is a B hit.
Yeah. They've already went for the drone in the very beginning. So again, the 2 players on the B side had to play a little bit more soft. You see here that you're playing very passively for Leaf, trying to activate here with the lockdown. If you're going to use that and push it back towards Jogimo, although Bang is already watching that flank. Sentinels are kind of pinned towards the spawn though, and they might have to commit towards this B site, but thankfully, as you mentioned, they have this lockdown to open it up.
They could stall on both sides with this. Does Leaf answer right away? He's actually on the outside, so they're going to wait, use their lockdown for retake from the side of G2. And we're just going to get a breathing moment here as the team's set up for sight.
Still not too sure yet with this lockdown that was placed down by Leaf. Because they could just wait this out for Sentinel. The wall could come back up, then they have to pit for the post plant.
I thought that was going to be coming in much later. Zelsa's kill comes in now onto Trent, though.
Why is
waiting patiently for Zekin and the team to push through. They know Sentinels want to take a bit more space here. It's going to be tough to all hide on that B main, and Valen starts to collect another head on this. Sentinels falling left and right as Leaf finds another, a third, and possibly a fourth, but no, it's Valen.
Terribly played, man. Terribly played.
Between those two, with Valen's defuse, they do pick up a round after the timeout.
And that's why I was going to mention the lockdown would have been perfect to counter into the pit. And if you're going to use it early, you're hoping that the rest of G2 could follow behind a Thrash on a retake. And again, it's G2. So they followed behind that towards the end and got the perfect picks coming out from Leaf.
Man, you just see how sorted they had Sentinels. How many members of Sentinels were actually looking at the person killing them there?
Nate.
Not
Thank
many.
God for Nate.
So the speed
Holy
G2
shit,
hit
I'm the
back
best player
with.
on this map, bro.
Maybe not on that lockdown round, but definitely on that retake.
Yeah.
One
With
round
a grain of
separates
salt.
these two teams now, and it seems like Sentinels, after getting snuffed out here on the pulse climb towards the B site, but they don't have too many ults to work with. Now they can leverage verticality with Zekin towards his A site. Already TP on top of pipes, yeah.
Ready for the fight. Backs up if this goes away and that wall doesn't give him necessarily the right angle. He says, wait a minute. Pinged me out.
And here are those lurks that we were just mentioning here from Sentinels that they haven't really utilized yet, and they were doubling up in the first place.
Interesting. They're giving over Celsius for this lurk now, along with Bang to start off. Just making sure it's not going to be a lost fight if they do have to get into some back and forth. But no real push and pull just yet. I feel like G2 has met Sentinels right at the front door each time here. Towards mid there, towards pipes at A. So it's almost going to have to be a reset for these signatures. The salvo is the skills.
The corner.
And that's what happens when you're wasting too much time on the side of Sentinels. They've lost so much base. You've already lost your drone at the very beginning when you're trying to find info on A site. Then now you have to play contact, and then you can't even play contact anymore because there's only 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So you're not clearing your angles. You're still thinking of Jonah Peace holding up towards the garage. He goes on at 10, and it's three free kills.
Jeez. That's the play, Jonah P. Play safe, play smart. That's what it gets you. My gosh. I think even in the vibes that we're seeing here, when we go from Josh RT to Kaplan, one's just smiling, laughing, and Kaplan's like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this. Like G2 may be feeling different, and Sen needs to shut that down now and find their momentum, find their flow state. Leaf starts off here with a first blood. Bang answers back, or Bang gets answered rather. Still the fight towards B. Drones clears. This would be the back need here. They need to stop this economy of G2 and get themselves back in. Is it this star? Yes. What star do you aim at? What star? Throwing Mosh over towards the spike. No, over towards back so they get dispersed from hiding on yellow. It almost works. Sentinels is so ready for the trade,
let's go.
As they
Let's go.
And take down G2.
And that's a huge run for Sentinels. Very difficult to enter towards the B site when you've already lost Bang in the very beginning.
Yeah.
There's no wall to block it up, and Nary just says, I'm going to up the tempo. I feel that I have a timing. I'm going to push up in the front, and he gets two backstabs. Maybe not the kill on the second one, but already gained all that space to allow for him to just plant things to the wingman. So that was a very nice answer back onto Sentinels after getting dismantled by Jonah P's position.
Yeah.
On the previous round.
Gotta shake it off.
Exactly.
A few early salvos you heard on the other side of the map, which probably means we'll get about a 1 minute hit if they don't find any frags coming over to this side of the site. A little slow down from Jonah P. Playing very close though for the unknown here. Ooh. Oh my gosh, Celsius goes down. The paranoia kind of locking him in, I think, for a second, not realizing what the situation was.
And that's a spike too. Now being picked up, but Zekin cannot really TP away, so it forces Sentinels to push inside B.
Yo, how, dude? It even pinged him, dude.
For Jonah P, again, he still peeks. Help just over the shoulder as Sentinels try to reorganize. How do they get back in? Bang looking for that opening kill.
This is going to be so difficult. They have Reckoning right away from Valen. He gets dropped, but they're still at a two-player advantage for G2.
Tried to play the up and down wall. John Cutie in a great position here. He's pressed a little bit forward, but they can't really help each other in this situation. It's going to take solo star power from the positions they're in. Leaf on one, and the second one's not going to make it. The dance around from Jogamo, so Trent can get the kill on John Cutie. And a defuse comes in for G2 to tie us up again.
Not too sure towards the end of the round, though, if they saw that Jogamo had an operator or not, but even that.
Oh, yeah.
That aside, at the very beginning of the round, G2 did a great job just strengthening towards the B side. When they realized here that Sentinels were actually adding a lot of pressure towards this B side, punishing Jonah at the very beginning in round number 10.
Oh, he got team paranoia.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
And because of that op that they utilized on the A side for Jogamo, they could actually strengthen that B side for G2. And yeah, again, just a little bit of misluck out for Sentinels, but G2 is able to tie this game up, and thankfully, though, it's a different story from the first map. We're going back and forth. It's 5-5. There's still a lot of fight left for both of these teams here. Going into round number 11, as Sentinels are actually adding, once again, more pressure towards A side. G2 wants to pressure back towards middle, and his early drone allows Leaf to push down and gain that space and prevent a rotate from happening.
Yeah, why not get Leaf a lockdown? Either way, kill or be killed. He comes into the final round with an ult here. But beautiful insert positioning. Sentinels knows they don't have any of that coverage behind. They'll be forced to work forward, but I feel like they're almost good in, not almost, but they're almost ready for this position a lot of the times.
Don't ult.
Good in the situation.
Don't ult. Dude, they're wasting ults to take space.
Sight with Armageddon. G2 won't play in sight for that pain, but they will answer back.
Plant still goes down, though it missed.
Ooh.
Towards in front of Jenny.
Haven't seen that plant in a long time. It's easy to post plant.
Delsis has no flank watch.
Have to try. Leaf gets presented with a 1-2-3. Easy as that, and Jonah P gonna give that one to Trent. No, to Jogamo on the defuse as they go around the ring. And yeah, 6-5 here for G2. It just looked like Sentinels was not ready for what they were getting hit with.
I mean, that's just unfortunate too. You had to fight in the front of the site to allow this plant to go down, to set up here for Zelsis to throw his nanostorms down, and Leaf finds the perfect timing to go towards that back. And when you throw a Reckoning for the retake for Valen, and Leaf is there on that flank,
I don't even have to shoot nobody. I'm just jumping around.
that's what I'm saying. It's just Leaf being the best on the map right now, as he mentioned before, and he's able to just isolate all of these fights because of that Reckoning that was thrown by Valen. It looked easy on the side of Leaf, but there was still a lot of util for G2 to not allow Sentinels to set up here on the pulse plant.
I feel like that works for Jogamo. Last time we talked to him about the Gecko play, since it's one of his most recent, he said, I just gotta use the util, right? Use it, pick it up, use it. So if he doesn't have to shoot, then he's got all the time in the world to use that util and help the team get into situations.
Remember that when they had this drone and also the Thrash from Narrate, they're utilizing it as a double drone, so already gaining that space in the very beginning towards B.
Yeah.
And then Narrate's moving forward, so they could probably leverage the Thrash.
Zelsis, what do you hear? Seeing if he can get some footsteps and find the back of any of these members coming through, but look at Leaf. Leaf still wondering what's going to be coming out of A. The entire team actually not buying this so far, fans.
TP for the A-side plant. Zelsis has a huge responsibility to try to get this pick if they're trying to flood back in.
Oh, the #1 job right now. They're not even going to try. They don't know who's actually made it in off timing, so G2 just go for a regular post-plant retake. The 5v5 is going to occur here for the last round of our first half. Oh, jazz hands. Half defuse doesn't get hit. There's going to be some utility coming out here. Jogamo answers with 1, and we stay at half.
This is terrible. Make it look better.
Into the site as they're getting swarmed by Sentinels now, and it's just looking like too much for G2 to overcome. But Jonah P has 1.
All right, 6.5. 6.5. Let's go. Let's go.
And we go even in the first half of Icebox.
So nice for Sentinels for the last round of the half.
Yo, Narrate has a index ring or an index finger ring.
And that's a beautiful call
Interesting.
from John Cutie. That we haven't seen that all throughout the whole half for Sentinels. So for G2, they were thrown for a loop, and that means that for the second half, I'm expecting more ace under the sleeves from both the teams.
Good job.
Crazy stuff. Awesome to have the even 6-6 as we get into this first half of Split. And we're going to be a little, go to something a little different this time. We're going to be tossing to Liz on stage with Immy and Googly.
Thank you so much, Vansili and Riv. And yes, I have the coaches of Cloud in with me, Immy and Googly. Now, if you watched the games yesterday, you saw, yes, you can give it up for them. You can give it up. Because, because if you watched the game yesterday, it was a hard-fought battle, but we sadly said goodbye to Cloud9 yesterday. Immy, I'm going to go to you first. We saw you in the coaching booth. We saw you afterwards. What was the immediate conversation afterwards with the team after the loss?
Just making sure everyone was okay. That was the main thing. Like, I was more sad than ever. Last year I was angry at my team. This time I was just sad for them.
And Googly, going to you next. This is, you know, obviously this is your first time being in the States with them. You were in Italy, I believe, or last time before you came here. Being in person, experiencing this loss, what was that like?
It was nice to see the players, be able to talk to them, and be able to like work for what we want to do next. Like that's the most important thing. Like what is the next step for us?
Now, going to you, Emmy, you are best friends with Zelsis. For those of you who don't know, Sentinel Zelsis on stage, currently focused on the game, is best friends with C9 Emmy. What would it
I
mean
did not know that.
qualify
That's actually cool.
as his best friend?
Well, I lose him for a month, but other than that, I really want him to win. Like, he messaged me yesterday to see if I was okay. I was like, don't worry about me. Just go out there and win tomorrow, and I'll be there supporting.
Well, when he watches his back, what do you want to say to him?
That I love him.
Bromance, let's go.
Simple as that. And what can we expect a Cloud9 Champions visit next year in stage 2?
I think we're definitely capable of it. We just have to figure out this playoff issue and just really grind into why it's happening, and hopefully we can make it out.
Well, thank you so much. Everyone get it for Emmy and Googly one more time. But we have a 6-6 have to get back to you. So friends, please take it away.
Thank you, Liz and Emmy and Googly. I didn't know we had that much space on stage to fit that much brain power, but we do. We do indeed. And we're also watching the cinema that is G2 and Sentinels here. The brain power of Valen and John Cutie call these two teams into an even first half on Split, but it is G2 with that first map ban. So Sentinels, they have no room to let up here.
G2 likes to scale behind a harbor wall on the B side and leverage a flash to take control of B. Sentinel still decides to play a solo player towards this B site. All of them being stacked up on the middle for the rest here for Sentinels. And they're expecting some sort of a pump back towards mid. Unfortunately for them, it's a wrong call for now.
Salvo's in the Ghost. Secondary wall goes up, and they've really already taken that zone 1 of space here, so no problem. Of course, Valen will go ahead and connect with Narrate to start off on this pistol round, and that's huge. The Gecko util for retake is one of the biggest things you're going to want to have if you're bringing that to Icebox now, and it's gone for
See, now that they have the... Now they're in a post-plant position, G2 has the... Bro.
Valen with 2 on the round, but he goes
like, they're not swinging 2 at the same time. I feel like they're swinging like ranked people.
Half defuse puts them in a pretty good spot here, but they still have to source out the rest of the members of G2. Very, very close. Oh, they can't get it. Leaf goes in and gives him a hug. The knife kill to come out as well, and it's not going to be enough as the salvos are already ringing true on the spike. Trent.
Shock who's mentioning that all he does in his server is jump around, jumps inside the smoke for a knife kill, headshot onto Bang. And you keep Trent alive in a post plant. He's alive with the salvos.
That was wild, bro.
And that's G2 with the pistol.
Oh my gosh. They feel comfortable doing that. They know what the situation is. They know the chaos they have to create. But still you have Trent, like you mentioned, not in that chaos, off to the side, win condition in mind that I just have to stay alive, and it helps collect the round. So many pieces to the puzzle there, and they're all working very well together for G2. And the sum of the parts come together for Sentinels is the question here. Pistol round is going to put the pressure on right away, Vance.
The stack that you have for Sentinels, it's not going to be the best. Maybe the smoke could help them so far. And it won't.
No. Just cleaning up left and right for this. Is they're actually looking to keep this one flawless probably as they go through the round to make sure it feels that much better.
And Sentinels, you saw the flash coming out from Zekin. But he couldn't really flood outside of that smoke because Zekin was
all right.
on top.
My heart will be full or broken depending on how this next round goes.
So no punishment be done either.
Is that the music? Is that from this? Why am I...
And a double Bulldogs for Jonah P and Jogimo.
We're already seeing the way the harbor walls are working for G2 too. They're just like, we put up a wall, we will walk up to that wall. And Sentinels are, they have to realize it. Have to respect it and give that space.
Yeah, so Jonah's setting up this lineup to throw the smoke right towards middle, so they'll probably try to have him lean more towards the B side to start, but instead immediately covers towards the A side. So something has to be called by Valen to just stay as a group. Just battling against Sentinels who actually have
interesting
stacked up on the side.
work underneath by Zelsis in mid, just keeping an eye where the turret cannot see. So this is on Zekin right now to call for Zelsis' utility if they do go towards B. Zelsis will have a bit of an idea now that he's moved himself over into that spot.
Just a simple default round now for G2, inserting players left and right towards jail, trying to see if Sentinels are going to try to push somebody forward. Then you had the fake being sold by Trent just to break that turret towards middle. And if they have to finish down towards middle for G2, they have an opening to push that red alert button and move towards that B side for a plant.
Very G2 of
Straight
them
up.
to take down to 30 seconds in the round to make this hit. Dizzy on Dizzy. I think both get shot.
Why
We
narrate?
don't get too much information, but it's Jogamo trying to go
Okay,
high.
big.
He's ready for two as these fires low
Okay.
and high for that elevation change, and Sentinels eye on
There
the
you go. Use the wall to your
hit all
advantage.
their shots.
Spikes down on top of pipes. It's so hard to go get, and you already have a double flank from Sentinels.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Good stop. Coming out from Bang.
I feel my heart filling up.
And unfortunately there for the side of G2 with the buy that they had, you had Stingers on the top by Leap, who surprised two players, but those bullets get out of the clip very quickly and couldn't get the double kill. And John Cutie trades that onto Bang to allow here Sentinels to stop at least G2's push and potentially win the bonus.
Let's go.
It may have been a little quiet, just kind of base Bang, fragging and playing standard throughout the season, but it has definitely been a playoff buff so far for him in these past few series, and Bang is showing up again here on Icebox to help lead the team in frags. This Molly over the top each time John has to deal with.
And they tried to triple swing that at first. If somebody was peeking, they could punish it and then get the nanoswarm out. But now, realizing that somebody has anchored up towards Boiler, that they're probably playing like a 2-2 style, so they have to stay as a group for G2.
Tries to get in early.
Yo! What is this?
So many good reads on these plays that would completely stop what your opponent is doing.
Bro.
Reckoning's gonna start dislodging the site just a little bit. We've already had one frag go down as Jogamo makes it two, one for each side now as Thrash is ready to pounce. Oh, it went too far, but he's gonna be saved by Val, and the teamwork is huge for G2. But Sentinels start to come back in, the 1v1 power that they can show, this prowess to get back in and make sure the clutch is theirs.
They're taking too long, bro.
For now, and just came back up. So Leaf is the one that has to stay alive here.
Oh, the tap just misses. Bang gives it another sidestep. Almost the 1-2 for
This
Trent.
is. I think they're gonna lose this round.
He's been so good in these situations, Vansili. He's been so good in these situations, Vansili.
Yep, GG's. He got it.
Didn't even get hit. And he pulls it again!
Unstoppable is
It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart, man.
Jiggling, isolating these fights, getting the salvo, stopping the women on top of that, not allowing Sentinels to get the 6 men for the defuse. And Trent pops off one more time.
Absolutely nutty performance from Trent. And put in this situation a bunch of times, it's not just the one post plant. It's post plant after post plant that he is successful in. Doesn't even break a sweat while doing it. 9 now for G2 here as they steal it back from a Sentinels round win.
Smoke is pretty good though. Jogamo couldn't get this kill onto the defense on the left side of the A site. Right now, it seems that G2 wants to pivot a lot towards this A site, and that's spiked down though with this kill from Second.
Again, spikes up top, so now they can easily keep a focus on somebody having to get towards Belt.
Yeah, but they'll get this for free.
Second gives that up. They're not worried about just getting one shot. Spike getting picked up isn't worth losing another member here, so they reset, and now Sentinels, Joy knowing where the spike is, have this good push into the pit.
Oh, the no 2 are there. They're gone.
A little weird. Oh, bang! Absurd.
That's big. That's big. It's a big kill. Big kill. Mid doesn't do anything for you. You got to get towards the site. But if they take out Zekin here, yeah, now the site is free. Now the site is free 3v3. G2 is just playing a little bit better, man. They've just a better team. You can tell.
The idea was just to get Jonah P up and try to break the turret so they could rework the map. but Sentinels gave up the A site, allowing G2 to turn it back in their favor.
Yeah, where they give up A completely, man.
Pretty full on util here. Doesn't have the drone, so they can get back in with a bit of the concuss. But Valen just on the other side of the wall to play cat and mouse, and Zelsis finds one.
Why? That's weird.
Bit of util. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a huge ult.
Chock full of util right now. Still has a molly to put on the spike as well.
And with this lockdown, Trent is just waiting so he can try to fall back with a few seconds left, potentially, so he can use the salvos.
Moving forward. They're actually trying to play this one a little different, Van Silly. They want to play different high-low. Oh, the separation and the angles, though, could make this so tough. That's one. It gets traded, but it's behind Trent now. Could he do it again? No! John Beauty! Sentinel IGL calling and hitting the shots to bring back a very needed round.
Let's go.
And why not? You have your clutcher in Trent and one of your best aimers in Leaf play together inside the site. Instead of giving that space away that you've gained with the lockdown, and you're just trying to surprise Sentinels on a rotate. But it was close. It came down to that 1v1. The first mistake happening by losing that spike. Yeah. Some nice shots there from back and forth from both of the teams, but we still continue to go back and forth in this matchup, Riv. A timeout being called by G2.
Okay.
They don't have the best in terms of economy for G2 coming back from this timeout.
I think that was the longest round so far from G2, right? They may have had like a 30-second round we saw going previously, but at 30 seconds in that round, that was the Valen pushing into mid. They were still trying to decide to take A. So this may be a call from Josh to say, yeah, we have that kind of strategy, but it's working less against Sentinels than it would against other teams. So maybe back to the speed, maybe back to a little bit more pressure from the G2 side.
Yeah, for sure. And when you were adding that pressure for G2, when they tried to work very quickly towards the A side, what really seemed to stop them was just that singular smoke from Zekin. The one way that's being thrown that side, because yeah, even if you push Zekin away with the salvos and you're trying to push back through the orb, you're running through a one-way and they spot your feet first. So that's why you're seeing so much pressure on the left side. A double setup on the A side over here from Sentinels behind that smoke that G2 really hasn't used util towards that side yet. So maybe you want to save those salvos for those hits. You want to try to drone a little bit later, or maybe use the Armageddon in the next round to really clear out that site and force Sentinels to play a retake again, and where G2 has been shining so far.
A little bit of A. Yeah, A noise to make Sentinels think that there's going to be more coming, but it's the 3-2 split mid. Quick check, early util. See, G2 is, they're definitely worried that Sen will push up more, but they want to take the space. Woo. That was close.
Cover going out.
When you talked about it 3-2, the cascade went up on the side, and you're seeing that Sentinels are playing very slowly, trying to clear every single angle, and you're basically pulling a little bit at rotate at the very beginning just to try to move as a team towards this B site. But that window's now closed. All of Sentinels has rotated towards this B site, and G2 will potentially have a very hard time trying to plant here towards this B site.
That smoke thrown out from
Missed
Zekin
it.
is denying a bit, but Wingman's still able to make it happen. Zelsis.
With plot armor.
Yeah, somehow dodges all of that. It's just short enough. Ooh, the pressure defuse. Defuse Dizzy up, who's going to try to peek it, but that was a really nice concuss coming in from the side of Trent to try and delay all of this. The
No!
shot's in there for a second as he can't get one to connect.
Okay.
Narrate says
That one death felt really bad, and then you realize that they still had 5 left.
very nicely done. They were given the low buy of G2 a little too much respect there.
Yeah.
As Sentinels finally decide to just take the round over.
And now this timeout is where it's going to be important for Josh RT, not only identifying how they could maybe work towards this A site potentially through the smoke from Zekin, but also understanding the state of the game that Sentinels currently have in this 9-9 scoreline.
Yeah.
Because you have 4 ults now activated on the defensive side. This is a huge swing round potential for Sentinels to potentially even run away in this second map and push this onto Ascent. Sentinels that's been stomped on the first map of Split on their map pick.
We're back in the game, boys. We're back in the game.
With no duelists on their side on the attack, and Sentinels with no duelists on the defense. But they're just letting G2 run into them and winning these fights.
Thought he might have seen one, but Narrate does not catch the foot there of Leaf heading into the nest. Decent push up for a moment by Zekin as he tries to recover a bit of the vision.
Hey, let's go. Zelsis with a little snipey.
On the full gun round back and forth. Screams through with a headshot on the round.
With Leaf not being able to capitalize on that frag on the A site, G2 has to tempo up here and maybe try to break a bit of util towards B.
The second self peek here. This is going to be a play for him. He's trying to play some timing. Waiting off the util. Hits one. Armageddon comes through and he tries to play within the fight. Zelsis picks up another one across the map as well here. Joggin was taking damage from this quite a bit.
He's just getting out of here.
Now it's
Later, bro. Although, yeah, they got A. 2v4. They're going to do this? Yo, I don't know if I hate this Vandal or I love this Vandal. What is it?
I don't think they heard the jump, so Leaf could actually bring the surprise.
Yeah, and they'll have wingman plant, so two watching the angles if they need it.
Okay.
Almost caught with util, and that could have been dangerous, but both players now for G2 in the pulse plant are lower on HP.
That's an inside the site plant, really. You can play a little bit far back on that, but it's got to be towards maze. You can't play up top, and
got one.
Just missed. Doesn't matter though. Celsius with the outlaw finds a
My man was blind. Let's go, boys!
Around again to make sure they can get to
10. Yeah.
I don't know if there was a mismanagement from the side of G2 not looking at what ults were available, but that alarm bot with the Armageddon out from the combination of both Zelsis and John Cutie made it very difficult for G2 to really fight back towards this B site control.
Just solo holding B2 as Zekin needed to rotate out.
So I had to rechange it, but I put a 0 at the start of it. So I was just aiming like this with the outlaw.
He did 0.0.
And still got a kill with it.
Yeah.
So all you had to do was crosshair placement, allowed to get the pick onto Valen. But that said, on a 2 versus 4, you force out the thrash. That's at least something there for G2 that could even up the tally. And back into the classic of the G2 Stinger buy. Grouping together this time around, and you can already see the salvos are not used at the very beginning on the top of pipes. They're using it here and trying to clear on the execution. There's the salvos on the left side, and Trent gets the opener.
Stingers flying through. I feel like it gives you a speed upgrade here. They've laced up, they're running it down, and it is going to be bang. Oh my God, the 180, the 360, 720. Tony hawking him. Dalsis takes down Leaf there.
Let's go, boys!
People. He's definitely getting a little bit of a playoff buff here, and he's using it accordingly.
Agreed.
Yo, what's up, Soft?
To the regular season, doing pretty decent.
Oh, man. My kids have a good time when I'm screaming like that. Bro, this whole stream started weird, man. My baby girl fell asleep in my arms when I was trying to stream. My wife was like, I mean, you can go in there with her. I was like, all right. And then she started to, like, stir. I'm like, oh, I don't want to put her face on camera.
What better way and what better position here to activate for Sentinels, because they're now in the lead by 2. G2 on that Stinger buy still has 2 ults now and weapons to work with, and still trying to go back to work towards this.
Wow.
There's 4 players of Sentinels here.
They are not allowing pipes control. It takes a lot to be able to guard this, right? You are dedicating most of your team if you want to defend this position right off the bat in Sentinels.
Dude, this is going to be a war.
Oh, yeah. Saw an elbow there. Trent pushing forward.
Yo, narrate. Why? Why? They're going to run B now, dog. No? Bro. That was insane 180. I've seen you make that play, bro. I've seen you make that play, Soft.
For G2 to trade back and get the player advantage.
Ooh, a quick thrash so he can pick it back up. Defuse, plant dizzy.
Yo!
Spike actually
no!
So they are not going to matter though. Valen's on the other side.
Oh, that was so close, bro. That was so close.
I know they should be okay this next one. Oh, definitely would have helped actually to get that plant money on the squad. But still,
that's rough. That's rough.
Through here, G2 1 away. And that had to happen before the post plant. I mean, look at what Sentinel's been doing. 4 diffuses in a row.
Yeah.
They've been owning it once G2 takes the site. So G2 said, we'll do a little bit before and in between.
And that's just one small mistake coming out there from Sentinels, because again, the position was perfect. They read it perfectly on that push coming out from G2. But because they had one player less, when they went for the high-low swing on the left side, it was perfect for those trades. But Valiant snuck through towards that left side of the A tower and got that trade-off against John Cutie to allow G2 to close that gap. But you mentioned it, the economy's not the best on the side of G2, but Sentinels definitely want to pull the timeout to slow things down for a bit, because you need to instill that to your players.
Yeah.
You have to check those small spots. It would have been a different story here if they took care and knew the position from Leaf up towards the left side, but I think it was actually Trent in the back of the nest that was able to swing out to get the first blood.
Man, 11-10 here. G2 takes Sentinels map of Split, and Sentinels 2 away from taking Icebox. G2's pick.
I've worked on my 180s. Have you really worked on your 180s? Dude, that's why you're the man, dog. That's why when I watch you sometimes, I'm like, we're not playing the same video games. Man, imagine if Sentinels win that. That's probably game. I hate to say this, but that round loss, we'll see how Sentinels...
Is just drill it in. Hit A-site, hit A-site. But this time pushing Sentinels away with the first wave of salvos. And in a G2 fashion, they could probably slow this down and wait for the second wave to go back again into the A-site.
And Zekken has had Zeus' utility at B all these rounds. They've now moved that over to A with them for the full fight, so we'll see if Zekken still kind of plays that aggressive or wants to get out now that he hears some noise.
Yeah, I mean, he could stay back towards yellow. They have alarm bot to watch, a very passive turret all the way in the back of spawn to look into the walk up towards tube. So all of Sentinels, once again, a great read to stack 4 players towards this A site. But Reckoning is definitely going to force them to scatter out.
Yeah, they're playing pretty far up for Lockdown and Reckoning here. One will start to push them back. Just on the left side of that mosh, not going to be enough. To see if they can get themselves in here. Yeah, there's the Reckoning. It's actually going to chase Sentinels all the way out, back down the stairs, into their spawn. And those circles can be seen here by G2 as they move in. You can see the focus right up towards screens and up towards that catwalk.
Interesting.
This is actually an insane...
I don't know if there was a misclick, but...
I mean, this is good util. You can easily throw some things in here like Jonah Peas. Oh no, Viper's his actually just went down. Wait, they're fighting in this right now. Viper's pit there.
Yo, Sentinel's missing.
It's going to be at 75%, goes down. That's going to be at half now. Shots coming from Narrate. He's up top trying to play the jungle gym. Can he swing down? Oh my god, the cove. It's the only thing that separates them. They stand shoulder to shoulder. And that's going to be the half defuse.
Let's go, boys!
Zekken was prepping it up, and Sentinels again are so strong on the post-plant retake here on Icebox.
Let's go!
Towards the end, I don't know if it was intentional or not.
Yeah, I can't believe it didn't work. Kaplan must have been super worried about their mental to do that. There's no way Kaplan takes a timeout there unless he's like truly worried about their mental. He had to sense something. I don't know. Yo, that's crazy. Zekken has 9 kills, bro. What?
I shot you guys. I shot the ref.
He's like, I shot everything but what I needed to. I think I hit someone in the crowd for a moment.
Can you see this guy? Cheat viewers? Dude, soft. I've been banning people all day, bro.
John Cutie on point here.
I actually know this one dude who's up, this Quigex, so I messaged him directly. Say, hey, brother, I don't know what you got going on in my chat, but if you don't start responding to me when I say stuff, like, hold on, if you're real, I'm hanging.
Yeah. You need Trent to stay alive here. That's probably the silver lining to keep G2 back in the game. If it's not going to be for the post plant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does say restricted. It does say restricted. Yo, I like this. Bang just giving it up, because what does he care? Go ahead and plant, dogs.
With a triple swing in the very beginning.
Yo.
That's a big kill.
G2 on these silent rounds, you got to give him credit.
He should have stayed out. He should have stayed out.
And Zeus has had so much value on flanks in the past. And he's fighting against Trent. That's the silver line. That's what's needed for G2 to stay alive and to win this round.
Zeus' 1v1s have been spectacular here, but it's 2. He's going to have to come up big. There's the first one. Trent's going to turn, but he's
Yo!
Now the third, and
it's just Trent? Is it just Trent?
Close range is just too much, but it's the post plant
Go, move!
Here
All right, this is good. Does he have rockets, though? He probably has rockets. Yeah, of course he has rockets, too. Oh, no! GG's.
But it is Zekin versus Trent. He delays more time now.
Yeah, he wins.
Trying to put the pressure on to Zekin. Is it possible? Firing to the left. Doesn't know he's to the right. Zekin looks like he's got the...
No!
Trent's gonna hit the shot! Stone cold.
Trent is insane again in these clutches. And a selfish play is coming out from G2. Jonah P low on HP saying, let me swing into this one. Let me give my life away. The second player to come across, I think, was Leaf also to fall down. Just so that Trent can bait that kill. The trust that G2 has for Trent in these moments.
It's crazy. Honestly, it's like it's going to be a strategy for teams to find Trent in these just engages and kill him so they know the post plant can't be a possibility. There's nothing you can do against this guy if he is alive. And that spike is planted. Another timeout here for Sentinels.
The last one of this map before we could potentially go into overtime. Our Sentinels pushes this to the third map of Ascent. Narrate and Bang have two ults to work with on the defense. A lot was being used by G2 on the attack just to try to salvage and win that previous round. And despite that clutch coming out from Trent, despite the few rounds coming through for G2 in this comeback, they've always played in a deficit in terms of weapons available. Going back into this timeout, yes, such a low buy coming in for Lee. He's small shields Guardian. Joggermill's also with the Guardian. And Jonah P's at 3,500. And we'll have to go for a small shields and rifle.
I mean, honestly, G2's been kind of limping through these rounds with the buys. So for them to even get a few has been spectacular, but still got to recognize this run on the second half from Sentinel. Spectacular as well, and looking like it's going to be good enough to bring us all the way to Ascent. This round here may tell us.
They're trying to get back into the nest for Sentinels. Something that was pretty decent for them earlier on. Getting stopped right away here by Salmos. Yeah, that cascade doesn't allow for them to get through anymore. So a little bit of a win here for G2 to start.
Oh man.
Saw this rinse and repeat play before. Jog
So
went down when he was on the belt there.
Jog wants to what? Get the orb plant and have ult. That is what they think their win condition is. Let's see. Wow, he used his thing to get out.
I wonder if that.
I mean, smart. Otherwise he dies, but.
And because of that pressure coming out from Sentinels, Valiant actually had to throw the Cove down just to try to stay alive. So they won't really have it to allow the Wingman to get the safest plant. So they're pulling back.
Wingman plant does give Thrash now, though. But again, we just saw that Dizzy get used at site. This is going to be pretty much a dry retake, and Jonah P has to be the spearhead. Sees one, so the jig is already up on this fast rotation. You see Spawn. Sentinel's defense is already starting to lean.
30 seconds left.
Oh. Zekin takes the spike out. That's not going to be the ult point Jogamo wanted for the Thrash.
Yo, it's huge. Yes, let's go, let's go.
The two Z's coming up big to stop that site take, and now the lurk in from Valen. It seems like they have an idea of where everyone is, and Celsius is going to be able to get a lockdown.
Yeah.
Another one from Zekin before he falls, and it looks all too good here for Sentinels.
Let's go, boys!
The one that sends us to a map 3. We're going to Ascent.
Let's go, boys! I love being a dad. Holy moly. Holy moly. Can you hear them when they do that soft?
Round number 24 to allow Sentinels to just rotate well and fight toe-to-toe against G2 and push us into Ascent, the final map that's going to decide who.
Oh, I love it. All right, I'm going to clip those, I think. And then, yeah, I'll clip a couple of these. I still, man, I made a huge mistake because I was going to clip some things on the stream from 2 days ago where they won. And I just lost the last 24 hours of my life. So I didn't do it. Steelers end up adding QB draft national champion Howard.
Getting all his clutches, Bang showing another playoff form in the buff. Everybody's finding a bit
But
of here when it is most needed.
I gotta clip those up, even if it doesn't get me many views. But maybe they'll see it.
going to be going to a third.
The TikTok I posted the other night, the tweet I posted was actually, I thought, kind of good. And then it got like 18 views. So, you know, whatever. Ohio State QB Will Howard. Man. The national championship QB. Oh, he's a little older. Alright. So they're probably like, eh. Alright, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go give those kids a hug and a kiss.
On set with Kristen S. Hair. Hi! What's the vibe today? I'm thinking something chic. You know, perfectly imperfect.
Ready for you on set?
Now I'm ready. Kristen S. Hair, stylist created.
For Jaw. Oh dear. Start running. Don't start running. And G2, this is their round. At least 4 in this game.
Second position on both long angles. But Zekin's still moving, and Zekin's just mowing them down. Sentinels came into Icebox with a new comp and now are forcing us to a map 3. I want to talk about the pivot here with Zekin picking up the Omen, and I loved what we were seeing out of him on this second map, specifically what he can do on this age that you can't do with anyone else. And really it comes down to Sentinel's opening utility here. What Zekin was doing was throwing an Omen smoke over on pipes, which is really effective for taking early space because A, it sort of stops the early aggression, you know, enemy team getting a player on pipes, fighting you forward, but it also blocks off the common angles that can see down like off top gen and get a pick there. It also blocks off the player top screens, seeing your players going down this line over on belt. So it's just really effective at taking early space. Now I want to look at this early utility that Sentinels end up throwing because, right, even though there's a harbor push wall, they've still got the double Tahoe missiles again, trying to force these G2 players back early on. And then that Omen smoke, like I was talking about, goes ahead and blooms. And now just watch and see how Zekin plays around it.
Cool. All right, Soft. I don't know if you're still there, but we decided to wait until Tuesday At 1 p.m. to release the view, because that's, or release the next video, because that's actually whatever's happened over the last like 14 days. That's where most of the people who watch me get on YouTube. I'm also considering uploading the video to X.
Right now, see Leaf, there's
Gotta
a
think about
Killjoy
that, though.
right next to him, which is currently seeing through the window. And what Zekken is going to do is he's going to use his smoke to allow Bang to get this timing to go for the cross. They used the Viper Orb earlier. Now Bang is able to sneak on forward here. And we can ignore the part where Bang dies. He's supposed to get the kill there, but that's all fine. It's all about the ideas and how this Omen can open up lurk opportunities. Now, the thing is, as soon as Bang dies over in mid, it's time to accelerate into the site. And this is, again, where Omen has some benefits, right? Omen has the paranoia, which he's going to use a line here to clear backside to rafters, and he's also going to throw down a very deep Omen smoke that allows Sentinels to play very forward on site. Check this out. Smoke goes down first, now comes the paranoia, and now Sen can play actively on site. Zelsis is all the way up on top of the smoke. He even has a teammate playing above him in a moment here, right? He calls in the Gecko, who's then going to cover this Heaven line. It's really, really nice for them to be able to play off this, win the round. They'll go aggro, get kills, but at the end of the day, it was Zekken's Omen that helped so massively for Sen to win this map, and now we get ready for map number 3.
People, look at them, gorgeous humans. Now, of course, let's talk about what we just witnessed over there, because, of course, Icebox go in the way of Sentinels. A lot of people here were quite happy about that one. That being said, though, it was a tight game. G2 Sen took it all the way, Brent.
Yeah, definitely, but I honestly, I'm dead impressed with how much Sentinels, I think, have worked on their Icebox as well. The last time we saw them play it, when it was against Crew as well, they've worked on this over the last few weeks. They completely changed up their composition. Everything was looking tip-top. The player form has been in great form as well. I think individually, everybody's shooting. They're winning clutches. Honestly, they're going toe-to-toe to G2 players. They're looking like they are on fire right now. And leading into map 3 as well, Ascent. Listen, I said that Icebox was going to be maybe like this unknown quantity. Sentinels needed to win in 2.
Yeah.
But with the way that they're playing, there's significant chances that they can take this win here today and book their ticket to Toronto.
Sen came out with 2 new comps for our last 2 maps of this series, and I thought the pivot to the Omen here on Icebox was so strong. Teams after 2024 really moved away from that agent on this map, but I think it's such a good one-for-one sub into the duelist slot. Christy talked about how strong it is on attack, on defense as well. The paranoia, the way they were using the TPs as a second dive agent to get through the harbor utility looked amazing. But now it's going to Ascent, where they also just showed a new composition, but they're playing against a G2 that is undefeated on this map, and it has been an absolute home ground for Jojimo. He's incredible on the waylay here.
Yeah, that is a scary thing, without a doubt, right? A G2 that looks clean on Ascent. What are the expectations there, I guess, then, for Sentinels? What could we maybe see from them to try and quell the, I guess, the aggression, the plays, the incredible talent that G2 are bringing?
They had really good ideas of what to do against Cloud9's Ascent as well, so we already know that they're going to be coming into this pre-prepped, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Great ideas of what to do against G2's waylay comp on Ascent as well. I mean, as well, it's going to be good news for them, I think, that Ascent, G2 haven't played it that much. They don't opt into it as heavily because I think their composition has a lot of set pieces, but once you get the footage on it, it can be broken.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. This waylay is really strong when you're not ready for it. Think of the plays diving into market, diving into the A sign and punishing anchors there. But if you're prepared for those setups, you can change the way you play a little bit. But G2 as well, you know they're going to come up with new stuff for this, especially with the stakes being this high. Toronto on the line for these 2 teams.
Yeah, this is it, folks. 1 map away, and the winner will move on to represent VCT Americas in Toronto. The question is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be G2 Esports?
Yo, Shadur Sanders is going to the Browns.
Okay, good.
I know a lot of people think he was overrated, but if he ends up being a decent quarterback, that could be a steal, bro. Tom Brady 2.0.
We're going to get this thing set up and get ready for map 3. It's Ascent coming up right after this, and we'll see you on the other side.
I can't believe this kid went round 5. He's that bad of a prospect? Like, he carried Colorado to some things, you know?
We are back. And no, you're not seeing things. That is a 1-1 on that screen for G2 Esports and Sentinels as we make our way to Ascent. We've gone all 3 maps, and now one of these teams will go all the way to Toronto with this win. It's anybody's game now as we get in.
Forget Split, forget Icebox. Everything is now decided here on Ascent, where Sentinels are coming out with what they came out with against C9 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Maniac, that's for sure.
Amazing on this agent on Ascent. But it also proves how much he was good at anchoring around the sites. Also finding openings and gaps here against Cloud9. And it was kind of like a flow state that we saw coming out here from Zekin. And I guess for Sentinels fans, we're hoping to see that type of Zekin perform against G2. But G2 with their own composition that doesn't change.
Dude, I don't know if you've been watching this Maniac, but Sentinels got stomped in the first map. And then they stomped. Well, no, they didn't. Then they won the second map.
It'd be pretty crazy to see how Sentinels react to all of these, or even get in front of the plays and try to play ahead of that aggression. All right.
I'm just glad they were able to get the second one there.
Yeah, I'm loving these transitions.
Explosive transition.
Breaking a fourth wall here. Love these transitions.
We're in there. We're in there.
Okay, here's a great start though. With how G2 are so good at opening this with pop flashes and salvos, there's actually a vice wall in the very beginning here, and you're already playing all sight here for Zelsis.
All the way up, Jogamo jumps forward. The rotation still coming in from Leaf, so G2 are very much set up here. It's
Wait, and they drafted Dylan Gabriel?
For Sentinels as they get themselves prepped to get back into sight. All that util they could want is really here. 0 point is first. Oh man, not seeing too many on that. They know it's got to be an A main hold, and they can take out the site. They should feel pretty comfortable getting back in. Oh, the swing through the smokes. It's going to be for Sentinels right now.
He panic fired, bro.
Taking out
Uh-oh.
left and right. Trent. Still post plant. Where else would he be? When else would it be on the round?
I think he's
They're looking main because that's what the left shot was. Oh! The side steps from John Cutie. The face palm from Trent himself.
Yo, he missed.
For pistol round.
I was dad watching the first 2 games.
Available, but remember when he had no salvos on ice.
Yo, he almost made the play. He just missed the shot. And also, I think if he kills the diffuser, he has a shot there too. But he missed. I think he panicked.
He just missed that shot. It renders costly as Sentinel's able to turn around here. This pistol. I thought it was going to be quite interesting with Sentinels putting that vice wall at the very beginning towards A main.
Yo, he said he's so bad. He said he's so bad. Let's see how this goes, baby. Let's see how this goes.
Allow G2 to play offside in the post plan. But Sentinels played the flood instead, and the trades were perfect. And now they're trying to move here into the second round. A stinger by out for G2 in a fight towards B main.
What else would it be? A blood-hungry G2 on a stinger.
No! No! They're gonna die.
They get overwhelmed at B.
Oh my goodness.
Tries to peek out to do a solo shot.
They're gonna lose this round, aren't they?
Looking at him and he gets the safety.
They're gonna lose this round.
Almost letting that shot with the outlaw, but now you have a player advantage out for G2 in the post plant. This time Trent is stuck inside the site, but they are closing that gap. Look at how close they are towards the staircase. Not too many chances to flood back in. You do have Paranoia and double flash though from Bang and John Cutie that could potentially open things up, and no, not yet.
Yep, they're gonna lose.
Coming through market right now. They just heard him, but it's not going to be enough. The stinger by
GG's.
again. More than enough for G2 to get back on the second.
Maybe not GG's, but you feel me.
3 upgrades, 3 Bulldogs picked up on that side. Not even flustered of what happened on that pistol round that Trent couldn't capitalize on the 1 versus 2 clutch.
Doesn't matter.
And the lurks were perfect in that post plant. They didn't really give a chance here for Sentinels to set up into the double flash, flood back into the sites. Kaplan feels it.
Yeah, he knows, man. This game is on edge, but he probably shouldn't be showing that much frustration as a coach.
Almost found the timing with a knife that waited to be up here for John Cutie, but this again, back into the same protocols for G2, the conditioning of the salvos. Always going for the paw flash right into main. Salvos into the front of the site and towards
Coachland fired up, man.
You can't get and execute quickly into the second wave yet because of the KO knife being thrown by John Cutie that just slows down G2.
All right, so Tejo has essentially replaced Sova everywhere.
still be easy for G2 to play.
If I pick this game back up, I'm gonna have to.
Here for the spike.
Yeah, if I pick this game back up, I'm gonna have to pick up Tejo.
Spike here. Clear out towards catwalk. Realize that nobody's there, and just wait it out. It looks like they want to fight this. Salvos to break the door, and they flood out.
I'm gonna say they'll let him out of the site. It's a party. Oh, they're actually grabbing these orbs. They go on to Valence, so not too terrible with the alt accrual.
Okay.
That's going to be big to get the Steel Garden online, though, for sure. 2 points away for him.
I just love Silva, you know.
To pick up a
Advent. Hi, please add on Discord to receive live stream updates. What sort of updates, Adventist? Hit me. What sort of updates will I get?
Number 4 in a bonus round that could be actually quite good for G2. If he wants to utilize that to get behind enemy lines. But look at this. Once again, you'll have the salvos, the pop flash towards the main, but the hit potentially could be towards middle instead. It's a fake on the side of G2. The conditioning continues forward, and now you have to push forward from Jogimo and also from lead towards mid.
Updates. Exactly. If you don't know, maybe you don't deserve to know.
Starts to happen. Expect Jogimo to go mid and then maybe refract or jump all the way up back onto Cat with these guys. Instant play into the site. Smoke top mid. They're going to go ahead and play with this shear. Now they know the shear is here from Leaf's first adventure to mid, so they can start messing with that wall for Zelsis as much as they want.
Yeah, refract, get the wall out.
Yeah.
Now you have a minute left, so you can work this site for the side of G2.
Jeez, John Cutie shuts it down for now. They got a bottleneck through these spots into the site here, and G2 is trying to figure out how they do that. It looks like it's just going to be dry on this one. Not much util to be used here at the second entry. Tejo's salvos just
Let's go.
Run silly on the side of G2 as Bang cleans up 3 with that site anchored. Clean one from Narrate. 2-2 now for Sentinels as we're trading them back and forth to start Ascent.
Signature
All right.
for Bang.
All right.
Yep. So hard to deal against him there. Didn't even need to throw the smoke between the
Man, so the Browns drafted the Oregon quarterback before they drafted Sanders, huh? I mean, I'm down to do it, Maniac. I play a lot less. I don't know how good I'll be. But if you're down to have fun, I'll try as hard as I can. I'll be down to play with you.
He's continuing this from the last map. Ooh, flash over his shoulder. John Cutie's ready. Yeah. Confident in his attack here. There was a flash ready for John there and the Narrate's salvos.
This will be difficult though if Sentinels stay within the site. Look at all the ults available. You have the Armageddon that can open it up. Valiant can TP inside. All they gotta wait here is exactly that, to activate the hit for G2 inside the site.
Not much movement though. It's gonna be on Jogimo, and he goes right into the smoke. They've realized the past few times that Jogimo is playing this, he is going into Valence smokes 90% of the time when he jumps forward, trying to win that initial fight. And
interesting. Okay, did they just find a way to break this? Let's see.
They see him. He saw it and he was like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. They do get it out though as the 0 point comes through.
And the other now, Leaf picked up an orb, now has the Steel Garden to try to enter, and that's a skills through the smoke just as it drops.
And now they save. And now they save.
Their weapons. Great hold in the very beginning. You bring up a great point though, Riv. With Jogimo moving right into the smoke, immediately punished by Narrate. That's what happened the previous round. They had a perfect pop flash setup to allow Jogimo to just dash right into the garden. But John Cutie was waiting for him right there. Even blinded gets the full kill. So the game plan, I think right now, Brent was mentioned in preparation that Sentinels brings into this game to try to fight against G2.
Oh, I know they're there. That's a bold move, Cotton. Emma, are you about to message me? Yes, you are. Hello. I've been blown away by your streams. Your energy, skill, and positivity have made me a huge fan. I'd love to support you further. If you don't mind, add me on Discord. OneMankind_01709. Alright, Emanuela, are you real? If you send me another message right now, Emmanuel, Emanuela_01 and say, I'm real. I will message you on Discord right now. Right now.
Because it is the focus for their win condition. Jog opening up, denying sheer in mid, being able to draw out that utility so the team has a bit of an easier second time.
It would be funny. He's like, yeah, I'm real. I'm like, oh. But literally not a single one of these people ever replies on Kick, man.
Now it's the first time that it really tested with the positioning from Sentinels going into this game. So now you have to go into the later pages of the strat book.
Yeah.
Right now what Shaq, Anders, Josh RT has been building up here for this moment.
Why didn't he close door?
This time not using a refract to try to break the wall. It's just Jogmo jumping across. You need to leverage now his refract for the actual information gathering into the B site.
Be right back.
Oh, no.
Yo!
Yo!
They tried to get Nere last time. He comes out on top, and it's not going to be a problem the second time. Jogamo, after 2, is finally able to sit Nere down, but there's backup. There's John Cutie, and being low on HP means...
Yep. No need for you, John, to engage
no
this.
reason to try to get a push here as your numbers up.
And that's the thing here. You're playing against Sentinels. If you're going to miss a couple of shots here, you're going to lose that duel no matter what. Nary clean on those 2 shots to hold and anchor up the back of this defender spawn. And with 18 seconds left, Spike is down.
Run! I actually want to see Leaf run. Okay.
Forced to fight.
What if Leaf would have run A? Wait, what did you say about Premiere? I got an ad. I'm definitely down to play. If you, right, I don't play Valorant as much, but I'm down to have fun. I'll try as hard as I can, but, you know, you're probably going to get Plat 1 to Plat 2 gameplay out of me, you know? But I'm 100% down to play. I might ruin your entire
See a little bit of a missed time coming out here when
rank
trying to swing out
of the
behind
team,
the
but if it uses my high.
And yet definitely you're going to call that timeout for Josh RT, just going to try to drill things back. That was something new that we haven't really seen for G2 yet with the pop flash and fight back towards the spawn. And you realize that maybe it's not well enough drilled, that they're just missing that timing to really try to punish, narrate towards that back of the spawn. So now it's going to be, okay, well, we have to land those timings a little bit better. That's the game plan here that continues on into practice after practice after practice.
Absolutely.
For Josh RT and the rest of the squad. Using that full minute to his advantage.
Yeah. Having that discussion. And you're right, with G2 kind of varying it, pushing towards mid. I'd say most of the time that you have Jogamo doing those strats, they've gotten that kill and they're through it. So now they're being presented with the moment it doesn't, and they're getting flipped on their head for that. It just takes a bit more control.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, if you wanted to, I'd play, but otherwise, we just, Soft hasn't played Premiere in a while.
Remember when we started this map, I was mentioning here that G2 forces you to play out of sight a lot.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a lot of these utils from this double initiator from Teo and also Jonah Peace KO. But Sentinels are doing a great job not even allowing G2 to get into the sites yet.
Oh, second hit. It was perfect. And they're actually drawing him to the top side of mid there. The shots coming from Zelsis were so good to draw Jogamo's attention. And they want a little bit more towards mid. Zekin knows it only goes so far to peak. Numbers up.
Let's go.
Back to safety.
Seems like we waited a little
No, every act I believe they do Premiere.
Through that smoke. Catwalk was open. It allows here Sentinels to get the paranoia and pinch. Now it's
okay.
Gonna mention a flawless, but it's Valen in a 1v5.
Valen?
Dragon IGL.
1v5, and he has the site to himself here. B site.
This is 100% winnable, and I don't like this.
Win. He plants close to stairs, which means aggression? No, okay, he stays in sight. Just TP stores the back. 1 paranoia and a smoke in 2 to create the angles that he wants.
Not the best spot to be, though. Narrate has Armageddon salvos.
He's pinned himself. The tough part about this is you have to swing across the doorway once you get that initial fight, which gives your opponent that opening.
Did they see him cross?
Yeah, they're looking right at him. Oh, he gets hit by the concuss. Half coming through, but he has the angle for the 1v1 on the left side here. He's waiting for the peek first. That's going to be the defuse coming through a 4K.
Hey, you know what? Very impressive by Valen. The fact that he got it down to a 1v1,
for Sentinels.
Impressive.
It's so difficult to deal against that. Valen
It's
has
tough.
to play against Salvos. The
Yeah, you know what, to be fair, Maniac, I guess, I don't know, but I haven't been on Valorant in a while. But why wouldn't they keep doing it? Now it's just like a part of their thing, no? Part of their ecosystem?
Still very great protocols for Sentinels.
We do a little bit of throwing, and that's what makes us us.
Oh my gosh. They're talking about the kills against Valen there. Should have been a cleanup, but yeah, a little bit of throwing indeed, but still the round is collected.
The phase one still good, though. Second opens things up towards B main.
A little bit of throwing into a little bit of owning.
Let's go on a buy round.
And G2 hasn't really found.
I think it's always a tab.
On their attack side in the last 4 rounds. Leaf has still this Steel Garden that's been holding on for the longest time. Contact play, trying to find maybe a safe spot.
Yo!
Steel Garden is down. It's second back to his form against Cloud9. Back into his dominant form on the defensive side on this Jet on Ascent.
And already looking to make more opportunities out of it, switching his position, staying mobile, and keeping G2 guessing. We still have 5 members of Sentinels, and they aren't over-rotating out of this either. Still holding. Know that Zekin has put a stop to this.
What a reposition by Zekin.
All right, side open. Zekin looking
All right,
for
3v2, 3v2.
swing on that one from lane.
No, don't do it, John.
Organize around the rest of the members of G2. Trenton team trying to find a few kills before they enter site.
Ranked stats? No, I have not. Are they insane?
Now it's 2 hero plays. Jonah P has to fight the B main against Narrate.
Nice. Man, Narrate was ready. Is it narrate or narrate?
Coming in from stairs, the swing out, the double from Trent, almost deja vu from Split, and that's going to be Bang with the kill. Narrate
Why wouldn't narrate?
They'll give that defuse over to Bang on this one. No, I was going to say Narrate, right?
Yeah.
Looked like he was ready to come back and get this. Okay, we're back. We're sorted out here. 6 for Sentinels.
Tracker.gg. All right, here we go. Let's click it.
Sen are starting to pull away a lot.
Man, 68 and 21. Oh my goodness, this is at Radiant? Dude.
Because now Sentinel's running away with this first half on a defense. In the lead by 4. Almost the line of 30 HP remaining.
Wow.
When they line up again. Good thing I was talking over that.
Dude, that's insane, Maniac. That's insane. This really shows me how much of a scrub I am. You know what I mean? Like, I am dog water at this game compared to the top dudes in the world.
Straightforward. Zekin trying to be the spearhead once again. Bang starts off onto Jogamo, starting this round 0-6 first kills first.
Wait, what happened? How did he get Jogamo?
Not having a great time on the way.
Where was that?
Get that initial attack for G2, and Sentinels is really playing off it.
Yeah. Instead of going for the special delivery, they went for the salvos just to push him back. A good old classic Tiles pinch.
Look like me and my prime out there. Yes, sir, Soft. You are the best player I've ever played with, Soft. The glazing is real.
Just got picked by the knife, but they've lost so much space. I don't think they want a drone to give their position away because you don't have Jogimo at the tip of the spear to open things up. Another jump spot coming in here from Jogimo.
Look at this. Oh, it's so nice when you're a Sen fan watching them do this. Like making the right calls. Oh. Get out of my business.
Man, what a stall here. This is going to put
Uh-oh.
back on third.
I don't like this. Zekin's probably going to get popped.
In control is the question, as they now have to
Yo.
consider mid is not the play. They only leave Leaf, but they're losing people on Cat.
Uh-oh. They're losing people everywhere.
Zekin literally swung.
Dominoes on this one. Jonah P is able to get one trade back, but John with the quality.
Wait, really, Soft? Why?
Another round for Sentinels.
Now it's Sentinels time for the fragging IGL to step up here for Ton Cutie.
Hey, Soft, actually, we haven't talked about this, but you remember you were asking me those questions the other night about how gaming, like when we're losing, would feel to if you were like watching us play, like, if you're watching the broadcast? Because of that, I actually decided to essentially stop gaming. Until I can game and not care much about the outcome, I'm not going to game anymore. I care very much about the outcomes of all games. Oh.
Dashed in. Dogmo looking for that first one. Has to refract. Does get the info, but it's not able to be played off of.
You saw him. You saw him. No.
And it's Leaf. They have to run through with
No, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Seems like the only thing they can do is press W to get this to work, because Sentinels has the read left and right on these plays. John Cutie just stepping to the side. Zekin picks up another kill here.
And he can't run forward to get the kill because Bang just threw a perfect paranoia. So
Yo, what's up, K-Day? Alright. K-Day, I'm not telling you that this is not actually hide bang, please. Alright. So K-Day, with the markets down, I wouldn't recommend you do it, but I don't hate the move. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if I told you this, but I actually tried to buy Spy U the day the market went crazy on that day, but I couldn't buy Spy U, and my only account's at Vanguard. So, again, I wouldn't recommend someone do that, but I'd be willing to take on that crazy amount of Oh, okay, all right. I like that. But I don't hate somebody or hate the move, K-Day, as long as you understand the risks that if the market turns around tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Yes, I was.
So good at fighting against G2's attack.
I mean, I guess that's what you have to do.
Since it is a leveraged product, if tomorrow it loses 4 or 5% in the world, you lose 12 to 15%. That's a real thing, K-Day.
And denied a space given by Jogimo, and again, it's the classic get in.
But you know what? After all this conversation, K-Day, I'm learning more and more about your resolve as an investor.
Armageddon back, but they've hardly cleared sight with the util to get in for G2. Narrate's just able to stand there. They do finally
No, that was so dumb.
Bit of chaos and G2 thrive.
Remember
right
our
now
last
as they
Ascent
head to
game?
sight,
Then you
but
know
the
what I'm talking
retake
about.
potential's still there. John Cutie's knife. Zekin with full util.
Don't worry, I'm not that rich. I got like peanuts. Hey, it's alright, man. Everybody does. You don't really take it as seriously anymore. Oh, yeah.
And this is the question.
Alright, so you have more fun on Valve because we don't take it as serious.
G2 here.
That's such a big knife. They know now that there's 2 players playing towards main.
That's 2 kills. 1 on each side. Zelsis, however, is able to trade this and make it uneven. Trent, the one we were wondering about, is versus the 2 shooters for Sentinels here. Zelsis is going to be the first contact, and it's not going to be enough, but Zekin will, as they collect the 9.
I don't know if my kids are about to go to sleep, but let's go, boys!
Wrap it up. Oh, no. This is the mental game as well as the game.
Tell Mom I'm sorry.
G2 look like they're predictable in the side of Sentinels. Look at when you see the refract coming
Oh, man. This is my favorite thing that we do now, Maniac. My favorite thing, bro. But I can't hear him if I have my headset on, so I gotta pop it like this. Oh, I don't know if you... Let's go, boys! I don't know if you heard. That was my baby girl on that last one. Woo. Yeah, Mom's gonna come in and kill me. I'm trying to put these kids to sleep. Alright, but your kid's gonna be part of your 5-stack. Yes, yes they are. Me plus 4 kids. Let's go. Yes, I love this. I could be wrong. Soft maybe knows, but if they win this, are they guaranteed to go to Canada? Kids are the best investment, K-Day. Have a lot of kids, have them early. Ooh, alright. Alright, so Soft's having more fun. Yeah. But see, that's also why I stopped playing with you guys in Rivals. Is 19 too early? It depends on your situation. No, it is absolutely not. But it depends on your situation.
So they need Jogimo for the execution within the sights. And Trent can stay in range to use his salvos to help the hit.
Jogimo start off this first blood. It's going to be Dylan that actually gets Bang out of his anchor position. Something very hard. The spam goes through. And Zekin unknown again with the Phantom through the smoke.
Alright. But yeah, it depends on your situation. Don't do it if you're not married. That's really it. Oh!
But Trent did. And that could be the play as Trent makes this call.
He needs to find the timing, though. Has to go for the backstab. He's not going to play the salvos.
He missed. He missed. They found him and took him out.
No.
Can Jonah P save the round is the question. John Cutie comes.
Why does he swing there? Let's ask. Why does Jonah swing there? Why does Jonah swing there? How much time do they have? How much time? Show it. Show it. Is that 4 seconds?
Who's been so good on the defense to
Yo, he choked there. He choked there. Yeah, he absolutely choked. The pressure got to them. Yo, why do they... I want to see how much time was left.
Players and just unfortunate misses those shots. And Sentinels able to capitalize in the end and take the lead by 8. Getting closer here to be the second team to represent the Americas at Masters Toronto.
It is a screaming first.
With a classic, I think it is. He could have stayed planted down there and reloaded.
Back from the break here on Ascent. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Man. A minute? Oh, man. I think he shouldn't have swung, but, you know, what do I know? Yo, I don't watch football or anything, but I'm still a little bit blown away about this draft. Now I'm trying to see. It looks like the Cardinals got a steal in the second round. Half the Wolverine season with a turf toe. Oh, that's probably why. And a shoulder. He didn't understand question at the surface about his knee. Hadn't been a problem for 2 years. Unless the dude jumped on him. He definitely had time, man. He hadn't even dropped down yet. He had to... now, maybe you're saying he runs, jumps, lands, and sprays him down. But I don't know that that's the way he would have played it. Maybe. It just felt like a bad decision to keep swinging. Click, click. I don't know.
Two is our first half in favor of Sentinels here on our third map. G2 now moving to the defensive side.
But Soft, I'm down to just have fun when we play. I'll be honest, man. If we stop caring about our ranks and rivals, I'll have a lot more fun as well. But I started getting really stressed because you guys were starting to outrank me, and I want to play with you guys. And yeah. But if we stop caring about our ranks, I'm down. All right, but I know Frost and Yuli take it real serious, and I don't know, it's hard.
Since the first half of this third map,
I just want to try hard and have a good time, but not really care, and that's really hard for me. So that's what this break is.
To dig deep in their pockets to find some sort of silver lining.
And it's a heavy util focus round. Look at the amount of classics you have over on the side of G2. A few armors tagged in there as well, so they're looking to teamwork this one for a retake. If possible. You can see how far they're already playing deep in the sights.
They are
Sentinels
way up.
Walk right up mid here.
They have nothing?
Knock on the front door. Door's closed. May not thwart them. G2 just want a bit more coverage on the round with the way that they're playing and how much they want to just slow things down a little bit.
Everything's being covered up though. You have a wall watching towards the B main. If you break the wall break the door towards B, you know that Sentinels are going to inch towards that side. And you're jiggling here. That's Juggernaut's responsibility now. That could get stopped by salvos towards the end. It starts and you're able to dash away. Thankfully here, no trap play from G2.
Let's not care as much, but try my hardest when I was like 10. Dude, anything competitive, I can't.
Be very careful about that as Sentinels start to move into the site. Narrate has broken the defensive line. Zelsis starts off with Trent, so they won't have that initiator utility to get back in, and that kind of G2 to move a little bit faster. It pays off for the moment, but will it pay off for the round win? Bang here.
1v1, 1v1.
Making the noise. Leaf has a lockdown on his position because of that movement, but he gets the safety now as Leaf goes for the short peek and resets himself at the top of the site.
Okay, I like this.
Of Bang here to get a ghost.
Like a classic to close the gap.
The timing!
10-2. This is an incredibly pivotal pistol round here for G2 to win this. It is on Leaf. Lower in HP, better in weaponry. Trying to get this final kill as he's going to have to push soon to get that timing on the spike. Right clicks coming out. And there's going to be another one from Bang!
Let's go, boys!
And it's now 11-2.
G2 are now backs against the wall. At this point, you probably have to go for that force buy no matter what. The steepest uphill battle to play against Sentinels.
I'm probably done with rivals. The pace of the game makes it hard to not take too seriously. Are you saying because you just like keep rattling it off? So like, it's hard not to be serious about it. Look at Kaplan, bro. You know what? I love Kaplan as a coach because he cares so much. Although, to be fair, have you ever seen a Valorant coach not care? They're always like, I'm pretty sure Kaplan had a full head of hair last year.
Crazy stuff here. G2 trying to get a word in at what could be the final hour at this chance. I mean, they still move to the lower bracket here, so not a problem with the loss, but it is Toronto on the line, and Sentinels 2 rounds away. So the chat has to happen here with the team, and you can see they are listening.
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean. We quit caring about ranking up. Like, honestly, I think... Actually, I don't know about Wiz. I don't know how much he cares about his rank. But I think if we were just like, yo, we're going to goof around. Because, like, I'd honestly like to start playing some DPS in ranked, right? I think that could be fun.
So this means G2 might have to play far up in the.
But to be honest, there's not really too many characters that seem fun to me.
A little scary here, but you got to go for broke at this moment if you want to keep it off overtime.
With the knife that starts on the attack side of Sentinels, it does not hit Leaf. So the 2 Razor Vines, the walls are still good. Counter knife, no information gathered. That's a huge knife being thrown from Jonah P.
Here.
It's a good protocol in the very beginning, though. Trying to have 3.
Yo, look where Valen got.
That heavily damages Zelsis. And throughout all of that chaos, they insert from Valen to listen to these rotates. But this is a buy from G2, who only has stingers.
He knows. Look at Zekin.
This position, to be in these positions on the side of G2 of how forward they are. Sentinels looks like they want to stop and go, re-hit back towards the B side, but nobody from G2.
They haven't broken the wall, man.
Valen just trickling in that information of what vision he has, all that util inside sight from Leaf could do. The exact amount of damage they need. Straightforward. Zekin tries to
now he has a Vandal or a Phantom.
There's no kill to be had there.
No, dude. No, dude.
The Stingers, how are they just too much for set every time?
And the wall was still up. It split the Sentinels push.
Yeah, see, this is the type of stuff that makes me nervous. Now I'm going to be anxious for the next however long this is.
Smiles on the face of G2. They get away with that round, but honestly, I don't know.
So the Cardinals haven't signed.
They secure it again. They're so good with it, and it does not feel like a team has an answer.
No free agents, huh?
They just keep buying Stingers, man. Great job there. Sentinels still have a lot of room to work with and a lot of time to work with here on this second half. But G2, they are now down and out as we see.
And Sentinels
Jordan Bursch, huh?
So much cushion. 8th round lead, so going for a full classic round against G2. G2 on their side just upgrading.
I don't care about my ranking rivals, and it's still an annoying game to play.
Jogimo going with the Bulldog and Leaf as well. Drone doesn't get too much information, so that.
But I think it's because of the losing, right?
Towards this wine, but being pushed out by the salvos, and that's actually a good read towards the end. That's no dash for Zekin to clear space into the B site. So if they're going to try to go into B one more time, that util from Leaf still be once again too good to deal with.
He's already playing for a first look on it too.
Ooh, that might change the tempo though. That knife just suppressed him.
It did not.
Narrate only getting so close, 3 pips away, still on that ult. And to rotate back across, they had Zekin here for quite a while, so they have decided to change the strat a few times. Zekin's lurk here would have still been pivotal to use on the round, but they're going to have to create another fake here. 30 seconds left. Fragment goes down. It's going to be Jonah P with a bit of utility out, for the rest of the squad is easily able insight. The rest of the members there are Sentinels. Narrate just on that lurk will be found.
Yeah, but it's too fast paced to forget about the fact that you're getting. Well, we don't have to get pootied. We don't have to get pooed on.
They save the 2 Bulldogs into the next round as well. And that's the difficult portion here for our difficult part for G2. Because they know they have backs against the wall against Sentinels, they have to keep upgrading.
They
to
can.
weapons. So even if
They
have
can
Stinger
last a long time.
within this round, they dropped it back towards the spawn, upgrading to these, so the money could potentially stay low if they keep losing players in the process in these fights against Sentinels. And Sentinels is just going to keep grinding into the economy and potentially even turn it around by that point.
Jogamo wants some action. Maybe at this point, Jogamo feels like he needs to produce something too, with the first half being so difficult, being shut down by Sen. You just get that inkling where you want to make that impact, and he does. Drops second, and that's going to bring the heart rate up. The rest of the fire comes through, and it's going to be too much in mid as Jaw goes for another peek there.
You'll take that to start.
Yeah.
The nice little saturate combination towards the bridge. Punishes two players.
Like, Soft is really good at both games, but he can only really tilt a game. Oh, okay, that's big. He can really only tilt a game in Valorant.
Hardly even saw him on that shot. John is feeling it right now. Almost looked for another one, sees the elbow. And this fight's just going to be a 1v1 by them as Zelsis goes down to Trent here on that push. So you played their pistol round. We know you're going to be lurking this late into the round, Zelsis. Man, G2 just seem to have a lockdown here. Once they have early momentum in the round, so confident in these trades.
Oh, somehow made it alive without being stunned.
Saw him drop out.
Oh, you're so big.
If you have a bad healer in Rivals, you are cooked, brother. Yeah, I kind of like the fast-paced, frenetic playstyle in Overwatch, but
that talk from Josh, reset
yeah.
the squad.
And then you run into a 6-stack, and then they're like goated because they run plays.
Had these moments on the
Or
side
cringe
of the
comps.
Sentinels camp where they actually had very strong starts, very strong leads, but their opponents are actually starting to come back into the game. I remember a couple of interviews ago, within their wins, Kapla was mentioning I should have called some of these timeouts a little bit earlier here to not give a chance for opponents to really catch up and build that momentum. It's starting off well here since this force buy from G2 in that second round of the half. Breaking the econ over Sentinel, snowballing a couple of rounds, and also surviving with
I don't want this to go OT, man.
back to normal on the side of the defense for G2. And Kaplan now, it's
Yeah.
ways to try to shut things down right away here.
Yeah.
And trying to get this drone pick towards middle, maybe try to break some walls or trying to get that spot and control towards middle is being well defended by G2. And Sen feels like they're understanding that weakness in terms of the map control that G2 currently has.
Yeah.
Because since the very beginning, Leaf has been using the wall towards B main instead, and not using the wall towards middle for information.
It's true. We'll see how he sets it up again. Looks like it actually might be heading over towards A so they can keep a focus towards mid and towards tree a little bit more. We'll wait for it to come out.
Did Scatabo get drafted? Do we know?
Imagine. I mean, right now they have the streak. They have what should be another round right now versus Sentinels. G2 with the operator being brought out by Jogamo. So you know he's going to try to get into dangerous spots and use that refract to make sure they have an early say in the round. Back towards mid. Yeah, like you said, toying here with mid, trying to destroy the wall. This time they won't find it. It looks like they're going to have to move on from here. Oh my gosh, Trent and Leaf just lay down Sentinels as they try to get into the site. There's a few more come through as they farm the low buy round here from Sen, and G2 look like they're going to grab 6. Quite a few ults will be online for the following rounds.
And they have an op. Uh-oh.
No way for Sentinels to really come in for a plant and build up a little bit of that extra 300 credits across the board out of it. But you're definitely starting to see here that both teams are looking fairly comfortable on snuffing out the attack side of their opponents. Sentinels, this is 5 rounds now in a row that we haven't even had to play a retake for G2. It's all fights as soon as Sentinels tries to go for an execution.
Let's go. We're winning this shit.
I mean, you have to feel like you have a read on the game right now. If this is what's happening and Sentinels hasn't shown you anything since that first round. Already in. Straight back towards mid. I wonder if this is Sentinels trying to find out where the wall's going to be, what kind of game they can play with that, because again, Leaf's shear is out. Oh, it's out towards the right side of A this time.
Correct.
So they do have it working on that A main, which means they can keep focusing this mid, and they have the right idea.
And he's playing towards this area so that if there's a lot of pressure, he can actually throw the Razor Vines. Or the Vise ult, which is perfect here to saw some players down.
Narrate stubs his toe on the Armageddon. Walked right into that, thinking it was going to be just soon enough that it left.
Wait, really? What do you do, like a, are you like measuring your calories, or what are you doing?
Now they just search for John. Take him out. Jonah P finds his duplicate.
Well, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
We said it when we came in. It is still very much a match.
Oh, Cam Scatabo going to the New York Giants, huh? All right.
Anything can happen.
The position's perfect again. It's hard right now.
All right, that's like the base there, you know.
His salvos, his special deliveries are too good. Even again, the position that you had from the Steel Garden from Leaf right towards the garden that covers the whole area of Pizza. So that G2 could actually fight just against pistols, flooding back into the market. Sentinels who keeps trying to go for this mid to be split. But it changes this time around. I think after losing so many attempts of taking mid control, G2 were changing their position around, and it started off pretty well. There was
That's kind of perfect, though, honestly.
That Jogamo potentially could have
I think they say by having, I may just keep my weight. Wow, really? Are you dropping a ton of weight then? Because then you should be getting skinnier and skinnier, no?
They have a plan in mind, but they've already given G2 that time to set up. Understand it's not a rush.
Oh.
Kind of
Yeah, you need like 1 more pound ribeye to make up for that.
make sure they are ready for you.
1,200 calories.
So it's not about speed for Sen right now. They're trying to control and get ready for these ultimates, I think.
And the walls are just slightly forward up. Already Razor Vines playing counter.
Ooh, Zekin in first. Been kind of quiet on these past few rounds here.
Can we
Shut
get the
down by
door?
G2, but now awake here on round 19. And that null command is going to give them a good amount of space here to hit this round.
Okay, let's see.
Could get some tags on people, but I think his timing is already the same as John Cutie, so not really much lurk anymore.
Oh, he got blinded too. Good move.
G2, oh man.
G2's turning it around.
The distraction, he jumps in, has the off, so he's not going to be providing too much unless he's up top on Heaven like that. And now it's the 3v2. G2 are closing in on Sen, and that's a third one for Jogamo. Are they even pressured in these situations?
I was just about to mention that G2 will be heavily tested on how they can retake
All right,
the site.
Sentinel's mental definitely going to be broken after that one. Huge sell. They win a 4v5 retake because they're fighting Heaven with an op here. Oh, bro.
Look at what he can bring. Clean shots towards the end. A highlight reel.
No.
That is so tough.
You can see Kaplan knows it's getting away from him. It's too close for comfort here. And that's going to be that final timeout for the side of Sentinels. Vans, how do you reset momentum like this? You can only tell the team that what they were doing was working.
Oof.
Right? The retakes. That was where Sentinels were huge. So it's got to be off the beginning. Just pretend you're attacking with a retake, right? Is that easy? No, it's not. It's not when you don't have the momentum that G2 has right now.
Yeah. Right now for Sentinels is the wall has been a little bit of a pain point at the very beginning for Sentinels on trying to enter towards the main of the B site. Didn't work out. Let's try to go for a little bit of mid control and go for these splits. Denied now by the
Yo, Lil Wayne was with Travis Hunter when he got drafted. That's pretty cool, man. Yo, he didn't even...
That G2's rotate is not necessarily on flanks in the front of
I'm getting a pretty balanced spread, though. I'm getting most of the things I need. But are you losing weight? Because if you're truly at 1,000 calorie deficit or more, that's over 5,000 calories a week. You should be losing about 1.5 pounds a week. But I don't actually personally believe in the calories in, calories out as exact science.
Into a site hit that's a little bit cleaner and play at a men advantage.
I like that. Because I feel like Sentinels is playing back when, say the Vice is more acting like a Killjoy with an alarm bot. They're just looking for alarm bot destruction and then they go and do something else. When they're not getting that wall in mid, they're not able to mess with any utility, and G2 is just saying, hey, someone's outside the front door, we don't have to react yet. So I think a lot of what Sen's doing is too telegraphed, a little too slow there. We saw Zekin dive into the site and capitalize on one. They just have to be able to keep that pressure. G2 is so on top of what Sentinels is doing. They're not really giving respect to those engages. It's being a pain point for Sen.
Yeah. And this is the first time as well that G2 was tested on into the retakes. Right?
Yeah,
the first time we're seeing a defuse coming in from G2 as well.
Maybe. Is that what's going on?
Well, I like to say simple, but they did have a good buddy system to run back into the site off the information that Jogimo is able to bring. If they're able to shut down Jogimo first, not necessarily on killing him, but making sure that he stays further back and cannot get the jump in refract info for the team, Sentinels might have a chance. They haven't really had an opportunity to really put narrate into these post-plant scenarios that Trent has been doing so well throughout this whole series. And despite that, when I mentioned that Trent, yes, had a couple of whiffy rounds into this third map of Ascent, he's still on the top of the board, by the way, for G2.
Yeah, 19 and 13 with 7 assists there, too. The whole package this game, for sure, coming in from Trent. 15 and 13 for Zekin on the other side. I would say everybody's really fragging in this game as you're close to double digits just for every single player here.
Yeah, thanks, Pansy. Trying to catch up to you guys over there.
We need our orange slices and juice boxes, okay? Okay.
That said, though, if you're looking back to on the side of G2, remember on the first half, you've called it at some point, how they were so good for Sentinel's side to shut down Jogimo on the entries. 0-7 at some point in terms of attempts. Exactly. But now he's currently sitting at 10 and 13. You saw the triple kill he just had on that retake.
Yeah.
You don't want this guy to start activating, which is why probably Kaplan started calling these timeouts a little bit earlier, because you're starting to see a warm-up on the side of Jonah P, a warm-up on the side of Jogimo.
For sure.
And it's not the right time for Sentinels to cool down when they don't have any timeouts left to work with.
Jog with an early op. Not even refracted yet either. He's just going out there for the initial take. But they have an idea on the read with all the pushes they're doing on tree and towards tiles here.
And this buy that they have for Sentinels, Nary doesn't even have a drone to come out with, so they're actually investing a lot of force buy into this round. Because Zekin has Bladestorm, he could be that pivotal piece that allows here Sentinels to turn the map back in their favor, especially on their attack side. And he's currently moving here towards his A side. Sentinels are getting ready for a time hit with the salvos of Narrate for a split of a 3-2 towards his A site.
G2 are ready for the 1 minute take. There goes the smoke towards A main to already slow. Valen is prepped. The 0 points start to come out. They actually get tagged. Second takes one down, but Jonah P answers with 2, and Tree is done. The pincer move is no longer there, and what's in sight has to hit like a brick. It does not.
Oh, the wall bang!
It does not. John Cutie coming up with 2. Sentinels feeling the pain on this one as they cannot get to the site with the spike. G2 just too strong. Safety here for John Cutie.
Oh, this is dangerous, though.
Oh, the shorty just on his right. Will he think to check it? Looks into sight first. That's 2 from Lee for the drive-by. 9 for G2. And like you said, that was Sen pushing themselves into a bye. We'll have to see what they can scrap up here on this next round.
But the convergence path, and then having Leaf moving forward, that was going to be dangerous. They still had util up towards that wall, and it seems as though the last 2 players were so separated between Jogimo and Leaf that there was a chance for your fragging IGL on the side of Sentinels to clutch that. Yeah, a nice little opening, but unfortunately it wasn't enough because of this push coming out from Jonah P. The util on both of the initiators from both teams have been really good for the defensive side.
This is bad, man.
And it's so hard to deal against. Trying to go for a double swing potentially on the top of middle here from Sentinels after the drone spots the op from Jogimo. And they also spotted that wall, though. It's been pinged out right away.
They've got good util. They get his refract out. They think a bit of a mid push is coming. They got the drone out. This is the time Sentinels have a step ahead of the play, and one where they can start to come back. Let's see how G2 reacts.
And somehow with a stinger by 2, but identifying that wall, they know that they have a clear path moving towards the A site. No walls to stop them, and Celsius places a nice wall for the post plant.
Oh, all 5 heaven. They are going to waterfall into sight. They got to be ready. The paranoia comes out. Jogimo hits 1. Already able to just spread out onto heaven here. The trades are in favor of Sentinels to start. Jogimo can't find that position to jump in just yet. The door's broken, and they need that extra attack point. There it is. They draw the door focus. Beautifully done. They're working it all together. They find a way to do it. G2 perfection on the retake.
This is hard to watch, man. This is hard to watch. This is what it's like being a Suns fan, by the way. It's a...
One round away for
I think
G2
I'm Diamond
to tie
1 right
this
now.
game. A stinger by for Sentinels, a stack towards hell, but wasn't enough to go for the ping pong swings to fight back against a retake of G2. And again, it's engaged and initiated by Jogimo at the top of heaven.
Nice!
They are ready.
Nice.
They just want to get back into each round, Vans. They don't even want the end of the round time. Just start it again. You can see that G2's feeling it.
Sentinels had a plant. And now with the buy that they have is just small shields, regen shields, not the best in terms of armor to keep them alive in these fights. And they're trying to add a fight into main again.
Valen and team pop flash out. They're going to get the win here onto Sentinels, and they're going for the throat. Sentinels get another buy, and they're going to just put that money back down into the gutter as G2 go for the throat again.
You have to escape with only 6 HP remaining on Bang. The best thing you can do right now for Sentinels at this point is to try to salvage these orbs. Trying to build up the ult here for John Cutie. Bring this to potentially the last 2 rounds of this map to determine the winner.
Crazy.
Of who qualifies to Toronto. They don't even want to go towards B to try to pick it up because they lost all that information towards middle in the very beginning. So now it's just, okay, use this minute right now for John Cutie. There's no more timeouts left for Kaplan. It's all up to the IGL to try to call out the next 2 rounds.
This type of play from G2 continues to just remind us and instill that pedigree that they bring to the table in situations where it looks impossible.
30 seconds
They're
left.
still able to make it happen here. Tying up the game with this one, still got work to do, but the momentum is fully in favor of G2 here as they string another round together.
And that will tie up the game. 11 to 11. We wish for a good series, and we're getting it so far.
10 seconds
and
left.
again, at the beginning of this round, you saw that Sentinels were trying to pull out a little bit of a strat book from G2. Going for the salvos to take control of line and in front of sight. But look at that answer back of G2 that other teams haven't really been doing instead. When G2 continuously adds the double initiator util to take over A main. The counter salvos to come across and a pop flash towards the smoke.
That's right. You can't even get your Omen TP over at that point. One of the biggest things about taking that A main control to have the double peak. So yeah, everything is being shut down. Super smart plays here, getting Mastermind towards the end of the series. Map 3, all the stops being pulled out and the last bits of the strat book being flipped, the last pages.
And right now towards this B main, you have Zelsis potentially trying to throw a flash, but no, he's going to fall back instead. I was going to say that's a perfect position.
Patriot picks are pretty good. Better defense in line. All right, are the Patriots your team? Dude, they haven't done anything with this wall yet. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, but the drone did see that it was the jet.
Yeah, they know that's a fake. And this is what we kind of talked about before too, Vans, is that's not enough to be faking G2 out right now.
All right.
As they bring the fight to Tree. Just right in there. They're not even worried.
So much util has been used at the very beginning, though. From both
Oh my goodness, he whiffed.
A rarity.
But all of that util expense here towards the side of G2. Now this is an opening for Sen to go for the mid to B split.
They finally go through the door on this one. They've been tempting it. They've been trying. They squeeze through that choke point. Do they know Jogimo's in the back, though? The operator's going to be tough in that close spot.
Did he not TP? Oh.
So they know he's towards that back. But they're wasting so much time for Sentinels. Exactly. G2 could flip back in this fight.
There's one. There's no help for that. One dry peek by Narrate to go in. A second one. They try to get a bit of util. The flash. Arcros goes down. Jogimo can't get another one. Sentinels finally dislodge him from the back of the site, but they don't know how close G2 is, and they're right on top of John Cutie.
And so much time's been wasted. Trent may have salvos very soon. As I mentioned, he just has it up. Here comes the flood back into the site.
Always in the iPad for him. Ready to attack. Flash goes over. Hide from second keeps him safe. And he's the only one on stairs as Zelsis is trained on that lane side.
The only thing Sentinels has is his flash.
Flash turned. And that's going to be another.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm not ready to yell yet. I'm not ready to yell yet. We're saving one last one. If my wife's gonna get mad at me, it's gonna be because a win. It's gonna be because of a win.
All the U2 was ready for G2 to move in as a group. And look at the position towards the end. Bang once again. Stepping up to the plate when needed. And Sentinels are one round away.
Yeah, Bang's got a towel too.
What's it gonna take? Jogamo gets the operator back out for the hard line. He's gonna go straight mid. And Sentinels is going to tempt it. The smoke just at mid keeps Jogamo from opening the round with a kill here, but he's waiting inside for that party.
And G2 haven't really been doing this so far. Not with the op at least.
No. It's he knows.
To get it done. That's his responsibility here. The drone spots a couple players towards Sabrosa. Jaw's just trying to find that timing.
He sees him. Yeah.
That's not right down. That's no salvos to open up the site
That
towards
sucks.
the tree. So you can't
Overtime.
so far for Sentinels.
G2 win this. They flip us into overtime and reset the sides. Everybody's defense has been stronger, it seems, so far. So we're going to get a hell of a back and forth if it does happen. Sentinels look to string back over towards the A side now. They've chosen correctly, but that only depends on how well Valen and Jonah P want to pop off here.
Valen still has a flash to delay, and Jonah could throw a knife and even molly towards the tree.
GG's.
Valen
I think G2 wins this game now.
G2 with overtime on the horizon. They have 5 members to retake this site from just the 3 of Sentinels, and Zelsis makes it 4 members of G2. He gets back on the other side of the wall. Huge play. Definitely not going to expect this. Maybe the timing is reset for Jogamo.
Oh man.
Deeper reset here. And now he knows the drop is there. Second answers with 1. They're looking to take the round. Only 2
Oh.
away. 1 more. It's just
Let's go, boys! Let's go! Woohoo! Oh man. Oh man. Woo! Give me one more. Let's go, boys! Oh. Bro. This was so stressful, man.
Denying G2's easy track to qualify.
A kickoff revenge. A hard.
Ooh, dude, I'm like anxious now, bro. I thought that was over. Dude, they lost so many rounds they should have won on Ascent, only to close the game on a round they should have lost. Yo. I could have made so much money off of this game. Bro. Wait, so G2 can still make it, right? If they win the lower... Wait, the next round, right? Oh, yeah. But now it doesn't even matter, Baduka. I mean, I know you want the number 1 seed, right? You want to win the... You want to be the number 1 seed, but they're going international. That's all that matters.
And the playoff buff is there for Sen, it seems.
So it's going to be Crew versus G2 now, right? Yo, look at that hair. Is that his mama or his grandma? I have moms and grandmas who look like that for sure. Aww. Aww, mom's so proud of her boy. Ooh. Yo, I can't even imagine what it's like to be a parent. Now that I have kids, I can't even imagine what it would be like to watch them on stage like this. It'd be so sick. Yeah.
To pursue a career in Valorant.
Dude, and man, and the way Zekin ebbed and flowed this game.
To play in a quote unquote home crowd in Toronto, Canada.
Brah.
And of course, there's going to be a lot of fans.
Oh, G2 versus 100 Thieves. MIBR. Was MIBR in the lowers today? Is MIBR in the lower finals? Is that what's going on? Man, you know what? I'm just checking BLR. I don't even know what's going on.
Coming through here until, unfortunately, a 3v5 came through from heroic plays of Sentinels right over here.
Oh man, we still have a lot to go. Wow.
Definitely took a lot of star power in single rounds here. and then the sum of the parts coming together. So many awesome clutch plays. So many rounds you did not think would go the way
Dude,
of
I
the
can't
game.
believe MIBR is here.
members and
I can't believe MIBR is this good. Yeah, I knew they beat Crew this morning. That's why I thought Crew was going to face 100 Thieves. Or that's why I thought Crew was going to face G2. I didn't realize we still had 4 teams to go in the lower brackets. Nice. So tomorrow, man, I'd like to watch those. But all right, boys, I'm out of here. I'll probably be gaming later. Baduka, I don't know if you're there, man, but I've been gaming less, brother. I gotta break the I don't know. Hating to lose. I don't know. But have a good night, everybody. I'll probably be back on later gaming. I may go hit the gym. I don't know. I'm in a good mood. It's been a good day. I'll definitely be on TikTok later. That's a crazy time.